Holy, that's pretty rare. Well, anyways, I guess it's time to start giving the link of the stream out to everybody, so I'm gonna go do that right now. Yeah, and close all these tabs in Chrome because we really don't need all that CPU usage to destroy everything and cause drop frames and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that would not be good. Yeah, let me get a shareable linky for everybody. Where is the linky for the stream? Just gotta check. There it is. Alright, let me go get that and bring it to all the servers. Probably don't even need Chrome open anymore. It would be a good idea probably just to disconnect from that whole thing. Yep, just disconnected from my music server that I do when I work. So, no CPU usage there. Yep, that's always nice. Where will I start? I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. Just like you do in work. Yeah, start from the bottom and work your way up, as in start from like the bottommost server. Have a Discord like when scrolling, and then keep scrolling up to the top one, basically. Yeah. Yeah, basically, I just tell everyone I'm live. If you want to go see some Cast DE games, whether they're, record game files people hand me, or possibly spectator mode like we did last week. Hopefully, we don't need spectator mode. Spectator mode, while it's readily available all the time, it's sluggish. It's crazy. It's one of the things the DE developers really need to fix, I think, they really need developers really need to fix with the game is making sure spectator mode isn't so laggy and slow compared to record games. Because record games, it's like zippity zoodah, it's so fast. But then you of course get the occasional out of sync. But spectator mode, it's mostly reliable, but it's slow. It's like pick your poison. You either can have a perfectly good running file, but it might out of sync and be useless, or you can have the always reliable method that's going to be, super slow. At least for some people. Because as you know, we've had times where the speed of the spectator mode was reasonable, and sometimes it just gets really sluggish. And you see that too when I do ESOC TV production as well. I mean, sometimes when I did the live games, it went super smoothly, and other times it just bogged down for no apparent reason. I'd have people in the stream tell me, "Oh, do this setting, do this one, turn the shaders off, turn this off," and it doesn't do anything. It's like, what's up with this? It's a gaming computer. It shouldn't have a problem with this thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically at that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing I can say about Legacy is at least those game recordings usually don't know sync unless it's like King of the Hill mode or something. Like when we do like Wars of Liberty stream week, stream day, I should say. Imagine having a whole week of streaming. We need like a lot of recordings for that, but I only got enough for one day now. On Wars of Liberty streaming day, all those recordings are usually 100% reliable, right? No out syncs. It's pretty good. Why can't DE be like that? Yeah, exactly. Would make things go a lot smoother. Big time. Yep. How far along am I in getting all these out? Right up to the official Age of Empires site. Probably the most important one to do. Yep. And there. Pop one into here. think that's the last one I usually do. There. Yeah, I'll do that one here. Nice. Alright, I think I got them all, I believe. I solemnly believe I got them all. Yeah, it looks like I did. Perfect. Yeah, it didn't take too long to do. Anything in the chat people are saying, speaking about? Nope, nothing yet. That's alright. Got some time here. You got like another 4 or so minutes, right, to chat to me, and I'll talk directly to you before we get started with the actual games. In which case, I have to count how many I actually got. I don't think it's a huge number, and we might need more. Let's see. So we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5, and we got 6, 7. I think, yep. Alright, and I think we got an 8th one too. So 8 games so far. That's not too bad. That's a good start. See if H3NI is on at some point to give us some more, which would be really good. Otherwise, if the stream's too short, we'll just do some spectator mode. If you really want me to do some games while the stream is up, we could do that too. I'm open to anything. Yeah. It's not like I play DE often enough, I mean? I'm either doing Wars of Liberty or Age of Mythology Retold or PvZ Heroes most of the time. Yeah. I do some Star Wars too, but, it got to the point where people are saying, yeah, basically the screen isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. I haven't quite figured out why the window looks so wonky, because when I'm looking at it from, my browser, it looks like a reasonable size, and then it just goes into this big giant behemoth when I load into the full screen game, and it just doesn't make any sense, because I don't see that happen in really any of my other games. Doesn't happen with L4D, doesn't happen with AoE, doesn't happen with any of the mobile games. You don't see a radical change of the screen unless it's like a big window modification, like in the case of BlueStacks, when you're, when your cell phone menu versus the actual game, of course, goes down. But other than that, nothing too crazy like that you basically have to plan around. Yeah. Now I can close Chrome at this point. I will actually use it, though, to find the download directory so I can start copying those games in. All 8 of them. Yeah. So let's copy those in. Wow, I've got so many record games in my save game folder in DE, it's crazy. I've got stuff that goes back to 2022, believe it or not. That long. Since 2022. 2 years of recordings. Yeah. Alright, that's done. Got our first viewer, it looks like. That's good. Welcome, Juanito, is it? Or Gningo? Who is it? A visitor looking for some good cast of games today. Yeah, I should be starting those cast of games pretty shortly. Give you everyone like a minute or two to come in. Otherwise, I'll get started and start ranting. Got a good collection to work with, Yeah. I also edited my graphics settings a little bit to avoid any sort of dropped frames at all. I think we had some dropped frames last week for some weird reason, but it wasn't a lot. It was like 0.008% or something like that. Nothing crazy that destroyed the stream or anything, but it was, noticeable. Yeah. I had a jump scare on Saturday when I was doing production for ESOC TV. Basically, I was doing the stream, and I think it was like midway through, or maybe not even, and I lost my internet connection, and I heard the casters were no longer talking. I'm like, oh no, something went wrong here. Sure enough, I found the internet disconnected, so I had to quickly scramble to move it to a new network that was visible, and that way basically it didn't destroy the stream. I heard from Josh that day that they have a system in place for that type of thing where basically the stream will stay up for 90 seconds. And thankfully I was able to reconnect everything within those 90 seconds to the point that it basically saved the entire stream. Yeah. That was an interesting one, you know. That was another time where spectator mode was not my amigo that day, and it forced me to go off of recording games, you know. But thankfully RNGesus himself made sure that most of the recordings didn't out of sync. I think only one out of sync at the start, and then another one did in the last 5 minutes. Other than that, though, it was like a perfect steamroll through all of those recordings. It was actually really RNGesus level fortunate with it. Yeah. Absolutely. Big time. So now we got a bunch of casted games here. I got one here called 1v1 German Fast Industrial No Factories. That should be interesting. GG, well played. It will be Aaliyah versus Sir Burntalot. Who's Sir Burntalot? I never heard of Sir Burntalot before. Is he burnt? Like burnt to a crisp? Crispy around the edges? Maybe. I mean, this is a good map, though, that we'll be seeing here. I forget what it's called, you know. There's so many European maps with rivers in them, I don't even know what they're called, basically, because I just remember them as like, oh, this is a European map with a river in it. And that's all I remember it as, you know. Somebody knows what map this is, they're happy to put it in the chat, but I'll just describe the map in general from a tactics standpoint. Tactics-wise, a big part in these type of maps you need to be aware of is these river crossings, you know. You see this deep water here, you can't walk in that, you know. Your units would drown in this water, you know. I mean, they didn't go to swimming school as a kid, they just don't know how to swim here. But they can walk through this, though, because you can see there's grass, there's rocks. They see a bit of a trail there. That shows you that it's shallow enough to walk through, right? Thus, these open up little choke points, you know, this one as well, and then I think, yep, there's one over here. These are choke points that you can control, basically, to prevent your enemy from getting easy access to the other side, right? And, of course, there's one player on each side of this river in this situation, so those could be some pretty good combat areas, really, if you want to make it that. So, we'll go see right now who comes on top over here. Alright, so on this side we got Aaliyah with Germany. Aaliyah's Germany is quite a powerful tool. A very powerful tool, in fact. Mainly because he has a lot of good decks for it, namely the, I would say probably the HOA 1v1. He's got a bunch of native base ones, a bunch of mercenary ones. It's pretty interesting, actually. Yeah. Pretty much is. And what mode are we on, by the way? I don't know, actually. What mode are we on? Are we on, Oh, we're looking at, Empire Wars. Very interesting, yeah. I noticed the wagon at the start, and I didn't, like, catch up onto it till now, and I'm like, oh, wow, we're looking at Empire Wars again. We finished off last week's stream with an Empire Wars game. Basically, what you need to know about Empire Wars is basically every card you send, you get a wagon like this that you can turn into any building that you want, you know? Whether it's a tower, a barracks, a stable, a market, really anything. And you can even make a trading post out of it too, so that's like really good value, you know? Of course, the trade route is one of the most important things you can get on an AoE 3 map. Lots of experience points, or with the upgrade to the stagecoach upgrade, food, wood, or coin, you know? Trade routes can be really useful. Always remember that when you're planning your build order, you know? Sometimes your build order will require you to get a TP or two to really be functional, so make sure you're always scouting on the map, looking for those trade sockets and being able to grab them pretty quickly. As we can see here, it looks like Aaliyah might win out in terms of getting the whole trade route. But let's see what the French are doing. The French are instead going to focus on military expansion. They got their tavern. They also have their barracks up. So they're going to be going a lot more with military here instead of trade route control. We'll see which philosophy ends up winning in the end. You know, Musketeers, pretty reasonable unit to start with. You know, if you don't know what to make at the barracks, Musketeer is probably your default one. You know, it's good anti-cav, so it counters SR pretty well. It's also got a range attack, so it's not going to be the worst thing against, you know... It's certainly going to be good against pikes, and it's going to be okay against crossbowmen. You know? I'd say okay because, of course, the crossbowman has more range and multipliers against them, but at least they're firing back at him, you know. It's not like the crossbowmen are going to be able to kite like gods against them most of the time. Yeah, definitely something to consider. Picking up the Royal Fencing School, pretty good card for France. You know, not only does it have the effects of Fencing School, but it also gives you 3 Royal Musketeers, hence it's Royal Fencing School, with the 3 Musketeers, right? Those nice little Frenchmen that like baguettes and croissants, and they know how to swing their sword around. And I do mean it in the kid-friendly way, yeah. Because nowadays you never know what somebody means what their sword is, right? But it's the sword for fighting wars, not the other type of sword. Yeah, that's all you need to know. But overall, we're gonna see a siege of this tower here, and yep, gonna go after this tower. I think this is mostly gonna be a good distraction here for Aaliyah, for his opponent, because namely, it's not really protecting any item particularly, but it will act as a bit of a deterrent and a distraction before he actually ends up reaching this trade route and start causing some real economic damage for Aaliyah by taking those out. Seems like, oh, Aaliyah's going for the FF into the Exiled Prince, so sacrificing a real reward for the age up timing, you know, that speed factor, that's always good. Oh, so this is going to be a native-based deck again, so we got Prince Electors being sent. Ooh, I wonder what sort of native Leah will end up going with here. You get a good variety, I would say. You know, you got Whittlebach, you got Oldenburg, you got the Habsburgs, basically all the German native settlements, basically. You know, and you got a wide variety of stuff. You know, you got some with cuirassiers, you got one with the polearm, you got one with an anti-skirm. Basically everything in the book, basically. And if I stand corrected, he also has, yep, he's got Circle Army, he's got Blood Brothers to get them all up to guard level. Also has infinite shipment of the Habsburg allies, as well as this one of House of Wen allies here, these native cuirassiers. Quite a good unit, you know. Normally you have to play France like this guy did to get heavy armored cavalry with splash attack, but no, you can send in some of the German Saxon cuirassiers to get the same effect, basically, you know. And guess what? They don't cost pop either, you know. They're natives, which is even better, really. Oh, did he go for Germantown Farmers? Oh, he did go for Germantown Farmers, so he's going super greedy off of this mill. You know, if you can be super greedy, Germantown Farmers is a really good card for Germany, you know. Basically allows you to train settler wagons from all your mills here, you know. And as you know, settler wagons, really good unit for economy, you know. They might cost 2 pop, but that's because they gather a double rate of a villager, right? They're like 2 villagers in one. This means every tech you get from them is going to make them an economic powerhouse, really, you know. And they're also more sturdy than regular villagers because they have that extended value. A lot of things in favor of them, basically. Yeah. Looks like France is successfully kiting against these Yuans for now, but they're going to have to run from these mounted infantry. Yeah. These are basically like these are a Habsburg native, so they don't cost any pop. And they have multipliers against all infantry, so they can be good against muskets. They can even be good against skirmishers in the proper numbers, too. Yeah. And do they, what tags do they get? They actually don't get the light cav tag, which means they should not be vulnerable to skirmishers. So that's pretty good, you know. They instead got the heavy cavalry tag, which means they're actually going to be more vulnerable to dragoons, yeah. Because if you didn't know, Dragoons have multipliers against cav units that have the heavy cavalry tag, which apparently includes all hand cavalry, even if they're not heavy per se, like Yuans. You'd think that they're pretty light, but no, they get a heavy cavalry tag, yeah. And apparently these more anti-infantry oriented range cav like these, as well as the Lakota rifle riders, they actually get a heavy cavalry tag, which ends up making them vulnerable to things like Dragoons, which normally would only have multipliers against the melee forms of them, but they also get against the range forms as well, It's one of those weird tag logics in AoE 3. Wars of Liberty, I think, ended up fixing that a lot with their assault tag and their skirmish tag and stuff, but in DE, since you don't have that type of thing in the system, they had to deal with it that way. So, get those weird little interactions, really, that affect sort of what a unit's good against, what they're bad against, and all that. We see an acquisition of this, which native is this? Click, click, click. The House of Wedden. Ooh, that's a nice one. That one comes with the Saxon Cuirassiers as well as the, I believe, the, Halberdier. I think it's called the, oh, it's called the Trabant, right? Yep, the Trabantan. That's right. From, Wars of Liberty from the Austro-Hungary Civ. Yeah, that's true. So, good set of hand melee-based natives for that settlement. So I got native warriors as well to actually make them cheaper by about 25%, which is a really good discount. This is a really good discount, I think. It's really going to help Aaliyah out in the coming fights here. Oh, he's gonna be spamming Saxon Cuirassiers out of here. Where are these other ones? This one, and this one. Alright, so he's going to be spamming Saxon Cuirassiers out of all his native embassies. Good idea. These will be a pretty good unit here, if you can get some decent mass, Normally, Veteran Musketeer would be a really good counter to cavalry, but since Saxon Cuirassiers actually do some splash damage, if you could get them in sufficient numbers with some sort of skirmisher support, which looks like Aaliyah's already getting with both actual skirmishers, as well as a lesser extent by these mounted infantry, you should be able to mount a decent defense against that. Yeah, if the Q can finish, of course, which, yeah, this embassy is currently under attack. Alright, so Saxon Cuirassiers getting caught in the middle there. Well, they're going to be joined by the Yuans, who will actually be able to connect, and they will be able to take those out, I believe. Yep, that one's going to be removed. Missing this one, though. You kind of missed the mark on that one. Maybe you can still mount a bit of defense. Oh, it's going to ship in some horse artillery. That's a really good solution. Horse artillery is really good against infantry, And since it's overall going to be a stronger artillery this late into the game, I think it's generally going to do better than this single Falk in this engagement. Yep, taking out the Falk. Main threat is gone. Now you just try to kill as many infantry as you can. Of course, though, since France has the upper hand with his control in this battlefield, he's able to rush forward and single down all those cannons, forcing Aaliyah to fall back on his remaining skirms and his Minutemen. He's going to be getting Blood Brothers now to boost up all of the Saxon Cuirassiers to guard. Good idea. Also going to train more skirms, and then it's going to ship in 2 heavy cannons. We saw in the name of this recording that no factories were going to be used, and it looks like that's going to be the case. Mostly going to be sticking to an army of, it looks like, German skirmishers as well as the natives, particularly from the House of Wedden. Wedden, not Win. I don't know where I got the I from there. Guard Cuirassiers are going to come in from this side. I'd like to see Aaliyah try to surround these units, The best thing you can do with these splash cav is try to cover as much ground as possible with them, Because the thing is you don't want the splash cav all centered in one area, so they can damage more units in the end, right? Because the biggest asset is the fact that they deal splash damage and they're damaging many things at the same time, right? If you keep all your splash units crumpled up together, they're not going to get all their value, and they're not going to be that great of an investment. But if you, surround a army of infantry, they can demolish them pretty quickly. Yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind with all that. Also, it's going to be adding in winged hussars, as well as the infinite shipment of the Habsburg allies. Does this map have Habsburg as an option? Nope, it has Wittelbach, which comes with more of the Chevalogers and the Mountain Troop, right, which is a skirmisher and dragoon, respectively. So yeah, pretty good choice, I think, for a shipment there, because it's a unit that you currently won't be able to get from the map itself. Oh wow, look at the settler wagons joining in on the siege. You see civilians joining the battlefield. Very interesting move there. He really wants his tower down, it seems. I think at the moment, though, I believe Elia has the upper hand because he's just running really powerful natives here between the Polish winged hussars and their really good damage, as well as the splash of the Saxon cuirassiers here. And of course, the winged hussars also have a really nasty charge attack when they attack after so many seconds, so you gotta watch out for that as well. That's another thing. Yep, we see even more Saxon cuirassiers coming up. More are gonna be trained. This is gonna be a serious threat here by Elia. A real serious threat. And you might be asking, what's the difference between these and these? Apparently, the natives you send from the home city are a different proto-unit than the ones you get from the, you train from the map, basically. So yeah, you might be wondering why you see two groupings of these. This is, one of these is likely the one that you get from the home city, and the other one is, one you get from the map. Yeah, I think that was done to make sure that basically, people could still train their respective native on the map and reduce bugs, basically. And I think it works pretty well usually, you know. Yeah. So when you double click on these, does it? Yeah, it does select both groups. That's the most important thing, because you don't want to run into a situation where you're trying to control group one of these and you can't get the other one, and yeah, this makes more micro work for you that way. So that's at least functioning pretty well. I think at this point, France really needs to think of a solution here. Guard Musketeer, I don't think that's your solution at this point. It looks like he's been run dry of most of his food here. He's going to try, I believe... Oh, he's going to get canning at the factories, which is going to make the food gather rate a little bit better. He's getting Guard Musketeers now. Did he get, Yep, he got French Royal Army. This adds a lot of value to your Musketeers, because every time they kill something, they get a combat promotion, basically, which makes them a little bit stronger, you know. Basically ranks them up pretty much for every kill that they successfully do. Pretty much, yeah. Because as you know, in this time of history, right, you had a bunch of big armies of, like, people with muskets that would shoot at each other in a big formed line, so I guess what it comes down to is if you can survive all that after a few volleys, then yeah, you should definitely get a medal and probably get ranked up a bit, you know? Simple as that. Yeah, it's not like the modern war nowadays where you have all these tactics and people hiding under things. No, in those days you'd go out in a big field and lob volleys of the big musket balls at each other. And then, of course, when it's time to charge in the melee, you'd pull your bayonets out and, you know, you'd start going in the melee. So, yeah, you must be pretty lucky to survive all that back then. Being on those front lines, fighting by the... Of course, if you're playing by the normal rules, right? Native Americans and the Americans later didn't use those tactics, and they were sometimes able to avoid those types of casualties by doing that. But yeah, when you're a big army of muskets like this and you survive a bunch of volleys, especially the ones in the front here, of course they deserve a combat promotion for that. Definitely. We'll see what happens here, because it looks like Aaliyah's trying to circle around and look for a good opening. I think he's just waiting for Bernawat to make himself vulnerable. You know, he's going to run him around, probably frustrate him, and he's going to pull out too far somewhere and he's going to get trampled. And I do mean literally trampled, because the splash attack on these Saxon cuirassiers, I think it's called trample damage, I believe, in the game. Yeah, no, here it calls it area damage, but I think in the old days with the cuirassier, it used to call their splash attack a trample attack or something. So yeah, literally the musketeers would be getting trampled. Yeah, pretty much. Gonna send the horse artillery forward. Probably the fisherman. Yeah. See if he takes the bait, though. We'll see. Look, that's a lot of mounted infantry there. Pretty big mass of it. And, that would mean that he actually allied with the House of Habsburg then, because there's no infinite shipment of mounted infantry for the Germans, I believe, just for the line infantry, which is the other Habsburg unit. So he ended up signing up with the Habsburgs, it looks like. Just trying to see. Alright, so France is going to try to make as best of a formation as possible with the muskets going into melee. Going to try to knock out as much of this cav as possible. Probably going to use these culverins to try to take a snipe at the horse arty, which he was successfully able to do, but just not enough, you know. I mean, you're running this really elite cavalry here between the winged hussars and the cuirassiers, and of course the mounted infantry and all these other natives. These came from the Circle Army, by the way, which is a rotating native shipment you can get that's infinite. It rotates to different units within the cycle, and yeah, basically it's native spam. This is all a big, giant, muy grande native spam, and it just worked really well here. A total blitzkrieg, if you will, because they're all Germanic, you know. They're all Germanic natives, you know. From one place in Germany or another, basically. Whether it's Austria or Saxony or Hanover, they're all German natives, so it's literally a blitzkrieg of natives. And let's look at the post game and see, you know. Yeah, Leo just ran a really good settler wagon economy with Germantown farmers right there from the start of Age 3, which I think really boosted him ahead there, you know. I mean, France certainly was building armies and trying to fight, I think, but, you know how Leo gets. He gets really greedy with his economy and gets some really nice settler wagon setups that really sets him for the whole game, basically, and it just works really good. And you can see here, when you're spamming that many natives, especially ones that splash attack, you're gonna get more kills out of that, definitely, you know. Yeah. And let's look at something interesting here. So if you look at like a post game, yeah, notice this. You saw how big Alia's armies were, right? Look at how misleading this graph can actually be, because when you look at military unit population, it gives more you get higher in the graph for the more in-game population you use for the units, like the actual population towards your pop cap. But since these were all natives that Alia was using, it's not that high in the graph, even though, as you know, he was using a lot more pop than this, right? Yeah, it can be deceiving, you know. I think why it went up at the end is basically the natives you sign on to with the prince electors actually do cost pop. You know, to make it a little bit more fair and balanced, you know what I mean? Sort of that thing. So yeah, that's sort of why you see a jump here at the end, because the natives you started training, whether it's the mounted infantry or the Habsburg line infantry out from his natives embassies at that point, were indeed population costing natives for balance reasons, right? But the ones you get from like the Circle Army or the home city, otherwise, those ones won't cost any pop, and that's why, you know, the Alia army was much bigger, was like so big at that point. Yeah. Most definitely. Alright, so just reading something in the Discord, but we can move on to the second game if you're all good, right? Nothing else you want to see? I mean, we can look at resources too. Yeah, I mean, Alia, this is what settler wagon economies will do to you. And just to check, did he get yeah, he did include guild arsons, but he did not send them yet. So his economy could have been even more fierce than it already was if he sent this card. Because think of this. A settler wagon gathers double the rate of a regular settler, right? So that would mean, right, that a settler wagon with this card is really gathering 70% faster, at least when compared to the... yeah, it's like giving your settler like a 70% gather rate, basically, if it was like a normal villager. That's pretty huge, you know. Very big. Very big indeed. So now we're going to go on to the second game here, which we have is called 2v2 Deathmatch. ST Dutch, TH Poe versus L Ottoman, SP Russia. Alright, so we'll see who that is. I believe ST is a shorthand for Don Stowe, I believe. Yep, good old Don Stowe running Dutch again. You see Aaliyah running the Ottomans. Spooky Action is using the Russians, and the Last Thief is using the Portuguese. So, pretty good setup of deathmatch civs here. And before we get started, we need to check the map out, see how it might affect the deathmatch and the way people build their bases forward and everything. So, this map here is called Dakota, but for those who just play Legacy, you're going to probably remember this as Mendocino. It's the same exact map, except, you know, in Legacy, you didn't have these big giant cliffs, these big giant, like, elevated structures. No, it was like a big crater, basically, right? But sort of the same concept. This big giant looming area you can't walk through that you have to walk around, right? And just like in Mendocino, you got the individual trade routes here that are pretty small and exploitable with the trains and everything, so you got that part of it. The natives here, I believe, are a bit different. So, since this is represent the state of Dakota, which, you know, it's up in the cold Great Plains tundra, almost in the Canadian border, you got the Cheyenne and the Cree, instead of the old natives, which were the Mapuche and the Zapotecs, right? So, instead of, like, hand infantry, in the Definitive Edition version of that map, you will have hand cavalry and you will have skirmies. Really good natives. You know, these are probably some of the best North American natives you can get on a map, I think. You know, the Cree skirmishers are just brutally tanky. And then the Cheyennes just hit so hard with their multipliers against Cavs. So, you get some of the best natives on this map. And, let's see if these natives see a lot of action today. I bet they will. So, let's check out what's going on up here. Looks like Aaliyah is already starting to build his mosque. This is like the first thing you need to do because, guess what you get at the mosque or the church? A technology called mercantilism. But normally the game won't out of sync like that. It will give you like 5 shipments, and you'll be able to get like 5 different cards of those shipments. Yeah. Support. Find help in our forums. Like, write out a big scathing like email of why is my record files out of sync, and man, I want to watch some stuff. Yeah, basically that's what it's for. Why haven't you fixed record games yet, man? I want to see some record action. Yeah. Alright, anyways, we'll go on to this one. EW ranked. British versus Germany. This should be pretty interesting. Horn of Africa. Very nice. For some reason, during the ESOC TV live stream on Saturday, people were ranting about how Horn of Africa has a lot of out-of-syncs in the game recordings, but I don't think there is, because we have done a lot of recorded games for House of the Train Post, as well as ones I've done from Aaliyah's recordings and just like my YouTube, and it never out-of-synced. But I guess according to others, it out-of-syncs a lot, so we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have a bad streak with that, because I don't wanna use Spectator Live. It's gonna be like a snail. I don't wanna have a snail. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I was just checking the Discord for messages. It looks like more maps are coming to Age of Pirates. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a series for Age of Pirates, by the way, where I'm going to be going over all the minor factions, as they call them, like the natives that have different options and choices and stuff. So you'll kind of learn a little bit more about those. So definitely look forward to that in the future. But anyways, let's go over Horn of Africa and what you need to be aware of with this map in terms of 1v1 play. So, big thing you're going to note about Horn of Africa is the fact that you have the water option. You got some water treasures as well. And you got these little islands, too, that you could potentially put a town center on for defensive reasons, you know. You got options, basically. But from what I hear, people don't like the fishing on this map because the whale placements are not always the best. You know, it can be a little tricky, you know. But if you're not looking for water, of course you have the Horn of Africa itself, that good old arid desert environment of Somalia. And Somalia, the land itself is pretty wide open, There's not a lot of geographic structures here blocking you off. Yeah, you might get like a little geyser like this, or a native site, which, by the way, you got Somali natives since, well, you're in Somalia. You gotta have Somali natives in Somalia. And then you got some Sufi natives with their Quizzlebash as well. So you got some good native options here. But anyways, let's get started and see how this one turns out. Alright. So, Leah's going Germany again. And this is another Empire Wars game, is it? Yeah, I think this is Empire Wars. Like, yeah, I look at the card, I see Infrastructure Wagon. Yeah, so we got yet another Empire Wars. That's what EW meant, Empire Wars. Alright, I'm gotta get my IQ score, but I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Yeah, big time. So, yeah, we're gonna see a lot of more of the Infrastructure Wagons be used throughout the match here. And we'll see, how that affects the gameplay here. I don't like this, though, the fact that Aaliyah's fighting the Treasure Guardian right on top of the foundation there. You want to get this built sooner rather than later, and he ended up changing in the end for that reason. I think he's going the same route as he did, he's going with HOA Empire Wars, which is totally native-based here, with, Habsburgs, Wedden allies, all this good stuff that won him that first game that we watched. Yeah. And what is the British going to be running here? So, British is running a deck called Deck 1. What's more to say that it's the first deck you'll ever see because it's Deck 1. Yeah. But other than that, a lot of longbow focus here. A lot of longbow focus and the option to turn them to rangers as well in Age 4. So, this is going to be very skirmish or heavy, I can imagine. Yeah. Which might bode well against things like the Habsburg line infantry, but it's not going to bode well against the Saxon cuirassiers. So this British better be careful about that. It looks like he's probably going to be taking a similar route to the French, going musketeer, since that's naturally what the British forte is musketeers, because of all the cards they get, as well as their Royal Guard upgrade, of course. So, I think if British wants to beat Aaliyah here, they're gonna have to get a pretty big mass and ball of musketeers early on and really go after them. Once Aaliyah gets into Age 4 and he really starts popping all those natives out, yeah, it becomes really bleak for you. And of course, if you let him get to Age 4, he's gonna send out those 2 heavy cannons. He's gonna send the horse artillery out. So it's not like, oh, I got a bunch of musketeers, you can't hurt me. No. He's gonna have some powerful artillery to send them flying through the sand at that point if you're not careful. So you gotta be careful with that with Aaliyah. I like how he's got like a bit of a wall formation here with his towers, his racks, and his manors here. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. British has I think that helps them out a little bit in this matchup. At least they're getting extra villagers from their manor houses when they build them, right? Because every manor house you build, of course, you get a free villager from that. It's a neat bonus that the British have always been known for in this game. Uhlans killing a poor innocent civilian there, committing war crimes, and then they just take off before they're arrested and apprehended and stuck in front of the United Nations at that point. So, yeah. Your average day war crimes carried out by Uhlans. Jawohl. Yeah. A couple of pikemen here are going to stay for protective reasons to prevent the Uhlans from coming back again. But Aaliyah's not looking for long-term rushing. He's going right for the Fortress Age with the Exiled Prince in the hopes that he'll get a very fast Industrial Age time too. So he can start really ringing in those late-game native shipments that he's really going to be depending on here. We'll see if British can intercept it at all, or they can defend properly. I think that's the only way you can do it for Leah. You can either rush him super hard at the start with this sort of thing before he gets to that point, or you're going to have a really good, tower defense level defensive setup to deal with all those really OP Cav natives that he's going to be, sending left and right, basically. Right now, it seems like British are simply just staying in their little spot here And what are they doing to really... Yeah, well, they're going to be focusing on their manor houses. It looks like they already sent the Virginia company, so these manor houses are actually cheaper than the average house, with the cost of about 90, so it's going to be pretty easy to spam these things out. And how far along is he in reaching the maximum? So he's at about manor house number 14. He can get 6 more of these to, like, cap it out and be 20 villagers ahead of the normal, like, rate of vills at this stage in the game, which is really powerful. But is it more powerful than Germany at this stage? Because I believe Germany's, yep, he's sending the Germantown farmers again here. He's going to be making settler wagons out of these mills, like, right away. British going for a bit of an attack on this tower, drawing in the attention of the Uhlans. I think he's hoping to beat these Uhlans with just these pikes, but not enough of them, you know. The thing is, yeah, these are Uhlans, and they suffer some pretty horrific multipliers from these pikes, but if he doesn't micro it properly, the Uhlans, you know, have the advantage of having more damage output, so they can gang up on these individual pikemen and pike them apart, basically. Is that even a word, pike them apart? I don't know. He's using more of these infrastructure wagons on the racks, which I find pretty interesting. I think if he can get like a decent economy, maybe, yeah, having all those queues of musketeers might help defend you, but as we saw with the French game, having guard musketeer versus those awful House of Wed natives and those winged hussars really didn't make a whole lot of difference, you know. So unless he's looking to go gentleman of the pike, which he does have in his deck, I don't know if he's going to be able to deal with this thing any better than that French player did there. Another thing too that Elia did to really basically corner his opponent was he went for map control and then ended up getting a town center all the way up here at the edge of Somalia at this point. So basically this huge swath that goes from here all the way up to here is all Elia land now. All this. All the mines, all the hunts. You know, where's British going to get their resources from once they get out of this little abode they built themselves up here? I mean, they can jump for this next, but they're going to have to take this tower out for it, and it's not going to be, it's going to be messy, you know, and of course, Uhlans are still a threat, and they can always kill your villager advantage as well. Yeah, I could see why people talk so highly of Germany in the competitive scene, is, you know, they just have a lot of things they can do to make your life miserable. Because not only do you have to worry about their normal army, you have to worry about the Yuan prom too, that they're constantly getting for free from their cards as well. That being said, we see mounted infantry shipment coming out now from Elia. And this is going to be a serious problem here. These things have some really horrific multipliers against the pikemen, dealing about 28 range attack at this current stage. These are going to clean house against these pikes. You know, all we have to do is pull them back and kite, and he should be able to take them out. Not even. I mean, he's got such big numbers. He's going to be just standing them here, and then as a sign of strength at this point, just to wipe out all these pikes, which looks like he did. No army for British at this point. They are going to be going to H3 with the Admiral of the Sea to get a bit of water presence at this point, which is not a bad idea. You know, Elia certainly hasn't been going with too much water, except for... Oh yeah, he actually has the dock here. But is he yet? Oh, he's going to start queuing up fishing boats right now, so looks like Elia is getting a bit of a start on the war. Maybe British want to send their Mayflower caravel here down to deal with these fishing boats and cause a little bit of heartache for Elia, you know what I mean? A little bit goes a long way in these matchups of being able to do some sort of pressure, trying to keep him on his toes, something like that. So yeah, we'll see if we can do that in the end. It'll depend on a lot, I think, in that case. Yeah. We'll see, though. Yeah. That looks like the pikes are going to be trying to thrust their way through all those House of mounted infantry there. Yep. basically. Another thing you can do too with these mounted infantry is if you feel like you're going to be dealing with a lot of pikemen, it's like a last resort, you can actually take them off their horse too and they'll turn into basic skirmishers, you know, as like a means to get away from that threat, basically, you know. Who actually uses that feature to actually take the mounted infantry and turn them into like the dismounted skirmisher and then back again, you know. Yeah. It's kind of an interesting ability they have, basically. I think it was based on the Napoleonic era mod with the partisan to Poland. You remember the partisan? It's not a partisan, a partisan, right? A partisan. Partisan but Polish, yeah. Basically, it was like an archer that, you know, I think it had stats somewhat close to a crossbow or longbow or something, and then it could get up on a horse and move super fast and lose some of its attack stats, you know, and that's basically what it was. But I think in this case, the mounted infantry of the Habsburgs is a lot more interesting than the partisan was, yeah. Yep, it's training some of the veteran line infantry out of the native embassies. Again, a pretty big mass there, a pretty big death ball of natives. We'll see what British actually does. Yep, again, the Blood Brothers to get them up to guard level. And what is British going to do? Are they age 4 yet? I'd like to see British go age 4 and perhaps, you know, get Gentlemen of the Pike over here. Yeah, Gentlemen of the Pike would probably be your saving grace right now, at least against the mounted threats. In terms of the Habsburg line infantry, you're going to probably need Yeomen, or you're going to need Rangers. Maybe get Rangers. You know, turn them to Rangers. That might be an option. Go Rangers and Guard Pikemen. That might work a little bit better than the Guard Musketeers did. We'll see, though. We'll see, though. You know, of course, Saxon Cuirassiers get their advantage from their splash attack and getting up in melee, so maybe the pikes won't last that long. The one thing about Cuirassiers in Definitive Edition versus Wars of Liberty that definitely would be on the side of British here is the fact that the Cuirassiers have pierce armor instead of the melee armor like they do in Wars of Liberty. So if you do take a bunch of pikes and you go right up against the Saxon Cuirassiers, good chance you can get some real damage in there, you know, and they won't just flat out, they won't have that longevity that they do in Wars of Liberty and melee, basically. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, because, I guess the way Legacy and Definitive Edition treated Cuirassiers, they treated them more like this big elite hussar with splash attack, but in Wars of Liberty, they treat them more like armored knights who are actually good at melee combat and specialize mainly in that, but when it comes to like shooting with modern guns and stuff, yeah, they sort of, you know, falter a bit. Which I think is a little bit more realistic to the history of, you know, heavy armored cavalry and why they sort of fell out of favor over time to more dismounted infantry with firearms, basically. Yeah. So we see veteran Pike still is an industrial age and can actually try again. Gentleman of the Pike, perhaps. But we do see this timing attack from Aaliyah here to try to stomp him from ever. Yep, he's going to get Gentleman of the Pike. Again, a big army of pikes, by the way. But they're all going to be at guard level, so they're going to have even more stats than they do now. Question is it going to be enough against this guard line infantry here? I mean, I think he can deal with the cav, but can he deal with these heavy infantry units? We see some longbowmen coming out to deal with them. Are they even upgraded, though? The veteran upgraded. Better than nothing, I guess. When it comes to this guard pikemen, these need to be focused on mainly the U-ones and even these mounted infantry. Yep. Yep, one cannon. Totally cannon, and yeah, just not enough stuff. You know, he should have kept those pikes in the back of the base and tried to take out these line infantry first. I think he had his priorities not straight in this whole thing, because now you got all the Saxon Cuirassiers here, but now you don't have the pikemen to deal with them, and it's just a really bad death blow for you now. Oh, and of course the horse artillery comes up from behind. It's the last, like, hurrah of, you know, yeah, there's nothing you can do now. The horse artillery here. GG, well played. Yeah, Leah does well play it a lot of the time. Yeah. It's really good at keeping it well played, definitely. Yep, we'll check the post game out and see if there's any big markers here. Yeah, this is just a sign here of how good the Aliyah Supplerwagon economy is when you go with the Germantown farmers to get them out very quickly. You know, I'm wondering now, did he end up getting the? No, he didn't get the guild arsons this time, so he didn't quite get to that point. He did get the eco theory though on him. You know, even eco theory. To put it into perspective, this is really doing 20% better gathering from those settler wagons because, you know, the settler wagons had the gather rate of 2 vils, right? So getting, like, eco theory, at least in terms of the food economy, is like in refrigeration for them, which is a lot more than, you know, the standard numbers, really. Yeah, so it looks like Aliyah just had the better economy with the settler wagons, even more than having extra vils as the British. Yeah, in terms of military, yep, looked like British was just really underprepared there. You know, I think he could have reduced the number of pikes he made and perhaps went for a faster industrial age time, I think. You know, just enough pikes to keep the Yuans away might have been good. And so he could get a gentleman of the pike and some decent anti-infantry. Probably going with the Infinite 2 rocket shipment would have been a good choice, I think, for anti-infantry. Going with a bigger bow of, like, longbows, perhaps. You know. But at the same time, you know, if you wanted to just, like, use all your food and wood for pikes, you could have just shipped in a bunch of, like, hungry rockets or something to, you know, pepper up the infantry and even the cannons to a lesser extent, too. Yeah, just more stuff to think about, you know, when you're planning to deal with different strategies is, how can I deal with this enemy army, you know? And of course, if you're, like, really fast and speedy, you're going to have more time to prepare, but sometimes you don't. And that's what ends up defeating you in the end. It's not that you couldn't think of the solution, you just didn't have enough time to enact it, basically. Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate when it happens that way, but it does happen, you know? It does happen. So now we're going to be moving on to an Empire Wars 2v2. Germany and Ottomans versus Chinese and Spanish. Finally, a non-European civ. Boy, we've been waiting for that for a while. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So we got Leah's Germany again with an Ottoman ally. Bunch of weird numbers there. What is this? Is this like a phone number or an address? What is this? I don't know. And the enemies are Gentovec with the Spaniards and Velkigej with the Chinese. And map-wise, oh, this is that cool map we saw that big giant death match on that basically has the river system that, you know, it starts out as one path like this and then it branches out into 2 other ones, basically. You know, and just like that first map that we saw with the river, these big, deep parts of the river that don't have any, like, visible pathing on them, that's, like, super well known like this, doesn't have rocks and grass and stuff. You can't cross through this, but you can certainly cross through here, basically. Since it's a European map, you do have House of Wen over here. You also have House of Fanar as well, which is the Greek and Romanian native. And of course, you got this area on the side here, which you can conduct some sort of fishing and whale gathering from here too. So you got that. Should be pretty interesting though, definitely. Alright, so over here we got Aliyah and his ally the Ottomans here. They're going to be planning out some sort of strategy, I think. Should be interesting to see how Ottoman synergizes with Aliyah's whole native build in Empire Wars. They're going to be putting the towers right at the choke points, which I think this is a phenomenal idea. This is exactly what you want to be doing, you know, because guess what? In like an open map, your enemy can choose to walk around these towers within the range that they can shoot, right? If you put them right at the choke point, they have to walk through there, and thus they're going to get shot at multiple times, whether they like it or not. I mean, the only way they can get away from these towers is put a dock over here and Well, one of them is doing that, so maybe he's got 200 IQ. He is building a dock. So maybe they're just going to load them up in a big boat and sail them away from, the towers and the walkway there. Who knows? But, yeah. Probably just doing it for fishing, though. We'll see. What does the Spain have for a deck? No water cards, so what's up with that? No water cards. No Spanish gold either. Beginner deck. Yeah, it looks like a beginner deck. You got like infinite 300 coin. Yeah, that's definitely a beginner deck. I mean, but there is a lot of good stuff here too. I won't lie. I mean, Viceroyalty of New Spain, Marvelous Year. These are really nice competitive cards that you can use. So, I mean, doesn't look too bad in Age 3. I mean, Colonial Instancias. I don't know too much about this. If this is... Do people use this in ranked? Is there something I'm missing with this one? I don't know. Also got the Skirmisher stat improvement here too. Peninsular Galias. Yeah, so, some good options, I guess. 5 settlers followed by 4 settlers. So going pretty greedy with the villager economy there on the Spanish side. What about China, though? What's China doing? So, China started out with the Confucian Academy. We rarely ever see people start out with that. That's usually like an either age 3 or 4 pick, you know? Yeah. Like, I get it in like age 3, just so I can start getting that free artillery right away, usually. But, during the, the ESOC TV stream, some of the more competitive players, I saw them getting this out in like age 4. So they could get other wonders first. So, yeah, it's interesting, it's kind of interesting. What's the deck look like overall? So, basically a quick get up to age 3-4 deck, which I think is totally fine. You definitely want this card here really quickly, the old Dynasty Reforms. It basically takes all your age 2 War Academy units and really gives them a really good stats boost, 50% better stats. That's pretty huge, but the only drawback it does, it makes them a little bit more expensive, but honestly, that's not too bad, honestly. Yeah. And you can see the Step Riders riding off out this bridge here to join the battle, which is pretty cool. Yep. We'll see them probably raiding something, perhaps. Yeah. So this is something you do with more of a Chinese semi-FF. You send out a shipment of the Step Riders, and then you get your coin crates right after that, basically. We'll see if that's what China's doing, though. I mean, if he's going to stick to the program of going to age 3 or 4, I think would be pretty good. Because he's got a lot of other good age 4 and 3 and 4 cards here. I mean, he's got Beiyang Army. This basically ships you a bunch of the age 2 Chinese cav and gets them the veteran upgrade. Year of the Dragon. This is an interesting one we don't see a lot. Basically, every TC that you own will muster a flamethrower, and each village will give you a monitor lizard, so a pet. Is this actually a good card that people run, or is it not that good? I don't know. I don't see T-Export there, which, is usually the top favorite for everybody to get first. It's a card I totally wish they had in Wars of Liberty is T-Export, just so I could get even more consulate stuff going at the start. Yeah. Definitely, Alright. Looks like Ottomans are walling up over there. Leah's got the native site. That's a horrible thing to let him do. Because it's more, Saxon Cuirassiers. That's horrible. Why would you let him do that? They got the Gleek Prostigma natives too over here. Another thing you don't want. Bad. Very bad. And it looks like they are going to be sieging. Taking these out over here. Oh, it looked like... Leah sent some pikemen to deny China a trading post. Well, I guess he's part of the house of the trading post, so he's good at taking out trading posts. Must be his speciality. Yeah. Getting the rice paddy upgrades this early? I don't know. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be looking for like mines and hunts. I mean, you got a lot of animals here. You got deer, you got ibex, which are fancy deers with big horns. You got berries, you got mines. Yeah, you shouldn't be getting the rice paddy stuff this early, you know. This is like backup option once all that stuff is depleted. Thus, yeah, China's got like the worst score right now, I think. Yeah, basically. I would totally expect that Ottoman to go exponentially higher in score once they get to like age 3, you know. Because the thing is, all you have to do is basically get those town centers down with like a covered wagon. And you got yourself a nice free spam of free villagers then from those free cubes, pretty much, yeah. Going with the Russian allies here, it looks like. Picking up the stagecoach style upgrade on the trade route. Note that helps everyone out though, yeah. Anyone that has like these trading posts is also gonna benefit from that as well. How does that affect this? Does this like affect both of these routes, or how does that pan out exactly? Oh, so it affects that route and cargo boat. Oh. So it affects both of these sides. Very interesting. Yeah. Cargo boat has cows on it. Why is there cows on it? Does that mean it's delivering food or something? What does that mean, son? Yeah, I think... nah, it's still XP. Yeah, this is kind of a red flag when you see both of these guys. It's still at age 2, and then you see Arbus go for the FF, and then Germany the FI. That can't be good. You know, like, Ottoman's peak is, like, in the FF or FI, so, I mean, if you're gonna let Ottomans get away with that, especially with Germany Elia doing his stuff, you got yourself some real problems there. It's gonna basically snowball real quick for him. Definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Oh, looks like he's getting... that's on the Spanish side there. Is Lee again? Is House of Fanar stuff as well? Surprise, surprise! Zelia hasn't really touched his Greek site here at all yet. Pretty interesting. Think that he would at this point. Yeah. Here's those House of Habsburg line infantry. Big stack of Ulans. What is Ottomans doing? Like, what shipment trajectory has Ottomans really gone into? So they've gone their cav combat. So this is more like a treaty deck almost. So this is not really unit space. And it's in Chinese too, so it's like a Tri Ming Tru Fa Hao Da treaty deck or something. Yeah. Yeah, like what's Almonds doing here, like militarily? Do they even so they're going full stable. So they're probably gonna be doing like delis and cav archers. They are doing some like water pressure, it looks like here with the galley. Yeah. Let me see. I'm curious how Almonds are going to contribute to this, because I think technically Leah might be able to win this on its own with this type of a native spam, but we'll see. China's still in age 2. That's a little concerning. Yeah, it is. The flying crows are probably like the only powerful thing here right now for this, but yeah, they're just going to overwhelm it. Spain coming in with veteran pikes and rods. Yeah, that's like nothing, man. Non-dry musketeers. This is like trash army here. Look at this. This is not what you defend with against this type of a build, man. I feel like maybe they were severely outranked here in the ELO board or something. Who knows? Yeah. That definitely wouldn't be my defense against what Aaliyah's running right now. Bunch of unupgraded age 2 stuff there. No. Definitely not. And if you wanted to get like the blockhouse with China, you should have done that through T-Export and not through whatever way you did that. You should have just stuck to the build order. I think that probably would have done them really well, because, you know, China could be a pretty fierce opponent in age 3 and 4 as well, you know. Get some really big spammy shipments of units, get some decent upgrades like the one I mentioned before, as well as repelling volley. So yeah. That could have been avoided. Really could have been avoided, I think. Oh, well. We'll see, though. We'll see. What about the resources? I think that's probably like an astronomical. Yeah, I mean, look at this graph from Aaliyah with Settler Wagon economy. Just like, wow. You're not even catching that in like a week. Saludos, Juanito. 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 They're nice to see you there, Cap. Yeah, we're just casting games right now. How far along am I, actually? I'm going to check right now. I think we're about halfway through the recordings that I was given. Because we got 3 that worked and 1 that I was synced, right? Did this one I was synced, did this one. So now we're going to do the other half now. So, got 1 more Empire Wars and then 3 death matches. Granted, if those work this time. Yeah. Empire Wars British versus... The recording game is a joke. It's not real. It was never a record game to begin with. It's invalid. So forget that. Go to the next one then. The Orange Jesus is not on our side today with these recordings. That means 2 of them are currently down. We'll see if this one is down too. Oh, so this will be a 2v2 deathmatch of Leah and Konstantinos versus Tom Nunes and Dunstow. Leah will be sporting the Swedes, allied to a Dutch, against Tom Nunes' Mexico and Dunstow's British. Alright, so good, pretty fair matchup, I would say, you know. Tom Nunes does a pretty mean Mexico, I think. You know, he's really good at spamming out their outlaws right there at this big flurry at the start, so... We'll see how that turns out. Yeah. And before we get started, let's check out the map real quick. I forget what this map is called. I think it's... I don't know. It's basically this river crossing where you got like these 4 pieces of the pie, basically. Because think of a pie, basically. You know how you have like slices of pie and the guy that puts it in the box makes sure to put the slices in it so you can pull it out easier without having it clump all over the place? Yeah. Well, at least some places do that, you know. Because I notice whenever they, like, do a pie, basically, if they don't like put the slices in after cooking it for you, you know, it can get really messy trying to pull that thing apart, basically, because, you know, you gotta get through the crust, and sometimes you get a slice that's like the size of a paper clip, and then the rest of it's still on the thing, and you have to start pulling it apart, and yeah, stuff about pies, basically. But that's sort of the concept of this map. You know, you got the same concept as the past maps we saw with, like, the river crossings. You know, you can cross through the area that has all the lush vegetation, but not the area out here that's all just blue water, basically. Thus, you got choke points. And normally in, like, a 1v1, you'd be, like, fighting for each one of these quadrants. But since it's a 2v2, every player gets their own slice of the pie. And they're trying to eat your slice of the pie, so you better watch out, right? Yeah, basically. So, let's get started and see how this one turns out, basically. So, just like I did during the first deathmatch, I'm going to say it again. Number one job, build a church. Not because you don't want to be a heathen, I mean, that's certainly a good desire, but, you want to get mercantilism. You know, and with mercantilism, you get 5 free shipments. You know, it's start of the game, shipments are pretty cheap and experienced employees requirements, so... You know, mercantilism is like a god technology at that point that gets you like 5 shipments. And it's sometimes you can also train some stuff out of the church at the start as well. You know, you can rush with priests and stuff. Flurry forward with some Minutemen. Stuff like that, you know, some basic harassment stuff at the start. I've seen people make spies as well, basically to harass the explorer mainly, to stop him from doing his job right. Because the other thing you're doing after you get that church down, you're getting houses, you're getting your star and production buildings, and you're getting your town centers, you know. Deathmatch is a very spontaneous, in-the-moment, epic fighting mode, you know. Don't think that you're just going to sit there like Treaty with these 20k resources and just build a big fancy smancy base without any pain, right? People are going to take those 20k resources and try to shove them right into you, basically, and try to take you out, you know. In the case here, we see Tom Nunez actually sticking a forward on the opposing side of the river there, and rushing forward with his cantina full of Juanitos Malos to attack the poor Dutch farmers here, basically. You know, with the big army of Suatreros and the banditos. Yep. Also some spies, making some vigilantes as well. Oh, looks like Don Stowe was able to snipe down the fort with his artillery. That was a pretty good catch. Not gonna... Yep, it looks like, yeah, Dutch are gonna try to... Let's see. Trying to form a line here, looks like, with the Riders and the Falcons. And now we see Vigilantes coming in. These Vigilantes are going to be excellent against these Riders, I think. And they're also going to be pretty good against these Halberdiers as well. I think the Halberdiers, they reach their targets, are going to be a really nasty force to cut through these outlaws here. Now, because never underestimate Halberdiers and what they can do, you know. Halberdiers, if you look at like their hand attack, it can be upgraded pretty far to almost being like that of like a Hussar or something, you know, or a Cossack, you know. Halberdiers exert a lot of damage, even against non-cap units, really. Look at this big push-up here by Aaliyah with the Dalkarl Pikeman. This is something Aaliyah's pretty known for when doing Swedish and Deathmatch. He'll just swarm up big balls of these Swedish pikemen and just start burning buildings all over the place. He found a factory and he's going to start moving on that as well. If Juanito Nunez is not careful, he might end up dying because of the loss of that factory, you know. Because Tom Nunez likes to go for a big attack at the start, I believe, and then, you know, it's great, it's pretty fearsome. Sometimes he can get the win, but if he doesn't get the win at the start, it's usually game over for him. So we'll see. If taking out that factory of his will sure make his demise come soon. Yeah, looking at the coin, going with all those outlaws is burning through a lot of his money there. His dinero. Now he's going to be forced to go back onto Shinanka Riders with the rest of his coin, it looks like. Going to be pretty good against the artillery, but he can still sort of use like the grenade throws from those banditos basically to do a little bit more damage to the Falcons, which they are doing. But here comes the Shinanka Riders though, the Charros. Things have some really good multipliers against skirms as well as hand cavalry mainly. Yeah, pikemen could totally be a problem. How is Agostino's doing? So he has no money. He didn't even build any banks. You know, he didn't believe in capitalism. He wanted to play communist Dutch and go without banks. So he's got no point. The man is shipping infinite 10 pikemen. Wow, 10 pikemen shipping. This is sad, man. Get some barracks. Now he knows that you need capitalism to survive, so he's gonna start constructing some banks right now. Look at that suck up. Now he realizes he needs the big bankers to give him some loans so he can defend. But will it be too little too late though? We'll see. Because he's getting totally overrun over here. I'm done. Leah better get moving with this whole pikeman attack. Don Stowe, get that hacienda out of there. You're gonna lose that thing for free. Fast, very fast. Oh no! Oh no! Dutch just resigned, so now it's gonna be a 2v1 now. Great. That's pretty scary. Ah, look at this nice defense by Don Stowe here with the guard rangers and redcoats and the horse arty though. There's little you can do against swarms of pikemen. You know, it's like playing balloons tower defense, you know, with all those little red balloons coming down the road. Except instead of red balloons, they're literally blue pikemen that speak like they do at IKEA, basically. Tom, leave me and versus Stowe. Well, maybe he'll respect that, we'll see. Or maybe he can fight him afterwards, who knows. I don't think it would be too bad to fight Tom Nunes after you take out Dunn, because Tom Nunes usually doesn't build a lot of economy, right? So, you know, feel like a second-hand challenge. Yeah. A nice falconet spam there by Elia to stop the approaching British infantry. He did throw some hussars there to sort of like acting sort of a block at that point. Sending out the Gustavian Guard from the Royal Decree, it looks like, as well as the Savalax Jaegers. Does he have, I believe he does have the German mercenary card there. He does not. He does not have that. So yeah, he doesn't have that, so he will not be getting any sort of like Savalax Jaegers this game. I believe. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Can you get that through the World Decree, or no? I thought you needed like the German mercenaries like card to get those, or the Jaeger ship to actually train the Jaegers out. Yeah. Either way though, those units are doing pretty good at protecting the Falcons there and allowing them to push forward there and plow in. We see Don making some hussars here to go after the cannons. Gonna go after an infantry gun there. Gonna take out some of the Falcons too. Yeah, right now those artillery are totally exposed and spaced out, making it really easy for the hussars to make a grab on them. There is some remaining Dalkarl pikemen though to protect. Hussars could also make a move on the Savalax Jaegers as well. We do have some rangers here though and some rockets. They're gonna probably get sniped by this culverin though, so definitely watch out for that. If he moves forward enough, he might be able to get a shot into this culverin and take it out. It's gonna at least damage it a little bit. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, he didn't want. He should have just taken the shot and not hesitated. So now he still has a culverin. You're not gonna be able to, you know, get those things out. So I think the thing we gotta assess between British and Swedes at this point is where the economies are at. You know, seems like the Swedish economy is doing pretty good. They're selling their self-assembled furniture from IKEA pretty well. They are running low on a little bit on their Swedish meatballs, but that's okay. And what are British doing? The British are spamming rockets at this point. Rocket spam is totally a cool thing. Got some culverins to intercept the one culverin of Sweden now, and can actually move forward with these rockets at this point. Yeah, rockets can do a lot of damage, you know, even against these hussars, you know, rockets quite a bit of damage, you know. Notice how they don't have a mouse against Cav. So doing like 300 crush versus them. That's very crushing. Very crushing indeed. Yep, rockets are going to start raining down on those pikes at this point. Try to make a grab towards those mortars next, I would say. Probably what I would do. We'll see though. Culverin's, yep, Culverin's arriving just in time to force the rockets back, but we do see some red cards going into melee there to try to take a poke into those culves. Is it going to work? This one is kind of being ignored. You gotta kind of focus on this one. This is going to be the easy one to take out, I think. Yep, taking that one out. These culverins have retreated. You're going to need to get rid of all the culverins on the British side if you hope to make full use of your rockets there. Otherwise, you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of them. And why does this man only have 190 pop? He could totally use 10 more pop, I think, to be fighting this out. No need to be giving yourself weaknesses and handicaps, basically, to fight your opponent, you know. I know you're simping hard for Aaliyah, but you don't need to sacrifice yourself 10 pop to make them feel like a princess tonight, you know. You can play 200 pop armies if you want to. Up a nice barrage of rockets there. We're gonna take some heat from the Hussars though. Gonna need a line of pikemen there to finish those up. Or at least to push them back now, but of course you got the culverins approaching as well, so they're gonna be making moves onto those rockets as well. Like, if you move them too forward, yeah, culverins will be right there to shoot them. No, pikemen are getting into range of the culv. Yep, they're gonna take those out. Culverins have reached the rockets, but will it be enough to? Yep, well they'll take one rocket out, but the others will survive. You gotta take these cannons out of the Swedes. Now, because his wood is like extremely low, like he can't even afford another cannon. So if you can take these cannons out, you're in really brutally good shape here as the British. And how's the British doing? So the British are actually out of fish and chips, you know, they don't have any fish and chips, they don't have any spotted dicks. That's actually a British dick, I was gonna say dick, but dish. Yeah, it's a British dish, it's called a spotted dick. I think it's like a dessert they have in England. So yeah, he's running low on those. And shipping in some more rockets. Can afford some more artillery. Where is he at in like Villager Pop? He's like 40 vills in. How about Sweden? Sweden is... Oh, they got more vills, but they're going to be losing vills too because British are just raiding so hard there with the Hussars. Taking a lot of villagers down. That's going to hurt. Now, because of the one thing Sweden has on its side is the fact that you got these torps here constantly gathering from the berry bushes they put out, as well as the mines. So, you know, the torps are there to supplement your economy in a way that the British don't even get, really. Yeah. But how's combat doing up here? So we're still seeing those sort of pikeman raids by the British. Pretty impactful considering the lack of fish and chips and spotted dicks on the British side. Yep. Nice wall. This is a nice defensive fort here by the Swedes. Like this nice wall of like foundries and racks there and walls to basically guard that off. That's pretty good. And what else do we see here? Horse artillery. Yep, taking those out. Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to take these walls out as like Don Stowe, just so you can hit Aaliyah's line here. Because if you're not, he's just gonna use the advance of these walls to just keep camping back here in you. Yeah, yeah, and he has Culverin. That's a problem. Well, Sweden's running low on food. You know, they're running low on those Swedish meatballs. Yeah. Rocket got one cannon. More coves though. Like I think if you can get these culverins down and uncove his coves, yeah, you should be able to make some sort of push here. Cause this is like neck and neck right now, you know. It's like a neck and neck duel. I don't know who's gonna come on top here though. Yep, looks like Don Stowe's losing Moriarty. And then he resigns. Alright, so what now? Does he fight Tom Nunes or what? Who wins? Who's the champion? Who's the MVP? Probably Tom Nunes, because he's gonna, you know, he's gonna jump across his Rio Grande and probably destroy him, I think. That's what I think. Lots of vacas from Mexico, it looks like. Lots of vacas. Muchas vacas. GG, well played. Rematch. Yeah. Alright, so Tom Nunes is the winner. Yeah, yay. Alright, so, yeah. Kind of scary to see after all that idle economy from Tom Nunes, Aaliyah still has a better outcome of resources. Good old Aaliyah. Man could literally be sitting there eating nothing but tacos and burritos for like an hour, waiting for them to fight, and he still gets a better economy. That's unheard of. And yep, I was checking some news on ESOC TV for I think I'm gonna be doing production on Sunday, I believe. Something on Sunday, and then on Saturday I'll be doing House of the Train Post stuff again. I know a lot of you House of the Train Post fans missed my castings for that. I'll be doing that on Saturday, so this will be a fun packed let's see weekend of DE stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Yep, overall pretty good. You can check this graph while I answer the phone there. Alright, so let's continue. What game are we on now? We are on this one here, right? Yeah. Yep, this one. So who's going to be in this one? So we got Aaliyah is Italy versus Tom as P.O. What is P? Oh, Portuguese. Yeah, Portuguese. Oh, so we got an Aquistino and Don Stowe allied this time as the Ottomans and Germans. And then Aaliyah's... Oh, Aaliyah's also the Ottomans, and Tom Nunes is the Russians. Interesting, interesting. Looking forward to this matchup. Sounds pretty interesting, actually. Yeah. So, another one on Horn of Africa. In the deathmatch situation, I think the water's a lot less important here overall, I would say. But definitely the openness of the map is going to allow players to have a lot of freedom in terms of their attack patterns, setting up their base and so forth. So yeah, be on the lookout for that this game. Yep, first is first, get your mosque or your church up, you know. Pray to Allah, peanut butter jelly sandwiches that it doesn't sink, and you can get mercantilism to get your 5 shipments going. Yeah, basically. Gonna start out sending some imams and some multiers, which is basically Ottoman spies. Shipping in some janissaries. Who is this? Oh, shipping unit shipments. We never see that from Aaliyah. Shipping units. Very interesting, yeah. Must be part of the Ottoman meta for deathmatch, I guess. Also going to be focusing on TC production, which is good because, of course, villagers will be trained automatically for you, so you don't have to worry about that yourself. But you do have to worry that the game's going to outsync yet again. So, what can you do? Yeah, what happened to like Saturday and today? Like Saturday, we were getting really good with these recordings, and now it's just really the orange Jesus has just flown away into the clouds at this point. Yeah, we got this last one. I'm hoping that this last one is good, and then after that, I guess we could try doing a spectator live, I guess, and seeing how that works. Yeah. So this is going to be a 1v1 deathmatch between Angel of Death Dutch and Aaliyah's Italy. So yeah, map-wise, this is a pretty interesting map. It has this little river crossing. It's not really a river crossing because you can actually walk across this whole thing, by the way. But you do have both sides of the water here. You got the one up here, and then you got the one down here. What is this map exactly? It looks like Panama to me. Looks like Panama almost. Yeah, is this Panama? Looks like the Isthmus of Panama, basically. It's got like Native Americans on it, like Zapotecs and what else? Mayans. Oh yeah, it might be Panama. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, it should be an interesting map to see for a deathmatch. So we'll be crossing our fingers that literally, yeah, not another hour sync again. You know what those can do to your night, definitely. One good thing you get with Italy though in a deathmatch is the fact that you can train architects and they can basically build a lot of the infrastructure for you as well. You know, if you're willing to wait on it, of course, it'll be free. But if you're not willing to wait, you just press that little button to make it cost some wood and it goes up a lot quicker basically. Yeah, pretty much. So we see a big army of priests here. Minutemen move up here, and they're going to move on to the attack of the Dutch Minutemen. Yep, looks like Elias might win. Oh, the priests are going to come and whack them with their staffs, I bet. Yep. No, they're just distracted. Yep. Oh, this is so messed up. The priest literally has a big, giant, holy staff that he can whack him over the head with, and he decides to punch him with his priestly fists of fury instead. Yeah, it must be a holy relic then. That's why he's not swinging with it. I guess that's why. So what do you get for Italy in deathmatch? You get fencing school, you get a Fuzi to get another basilica, makes sense, and then Usari to improve the interest rates on the Lombards, and then advanced Lombards. Alright, yeah, I can imagine Lombard play is pretty huge in Italian deathmatch, you know, because I find in a lot of cases in deathmatch, players are often floating a lot of one resource and the other ones are just sort of absent, so it's pretty good to have a building like the Lombard to actually give you some rebalancing of your eco, you know what I mean? Because that can be kind of a serious thing, because you don't necessarily want to have to move all your villagers over to plantations or mills or rice paddies or whatever during the fight. So if you can use Lombards to facilitate that while you're combating, that can be pretty quick, easy option to not lose the front lines of the fight on. I will say, Angel of Death did strike with a lot more fury in this initial push. You know, Halbs, Hussars, Riders, Skirms, Artillery. This is a really good push by Angel of Death, and he's actually going to start to be able to pile up onto Aaliyah's side of the... I believe that's the Panama Canal, is that right? Yeah, that might be the Panama Canal, so he's already starting to make some headway there. Really push in. Basigliates trying to target the Culls a bit there. Basigliates can be certainly a good deathmatch unit, since once they get that kill, they blow their trumpet and it makes a big rough roar at that point that stuns the opponents, if you will. Yeah. Yep, now they're gonna get surrounded though, that could be a problem. But here comes the Blue Guards to save the day. Good old Blue Guard. Yes, they are blue. The uniforms are indeed blue, as you see right there. Kind of interesting, because the Blue Guards in Wars of Liberty are actually grenadiers and not musketeers at all, so it's kind of strange to see that there. Yeah, it definitely is. I wonder if they changed the Blue Guards to like Western style grenadiers in Wars of Liberty, or if they just kept them as like the Bombardier style. I'm assuming they're like more standard European Grens in that game. Yeah, probably. What's going on here though? Guard pikemen from Italy, they're gonna get trampled pretty easily by these Helds. Any foundations by the Dutch at all on this side of the pond? Nothing yet. I think he's just trying to contain Italy at this point and trying to kill off as much stuff as possible. Yeah, Helps are not a bad unit to send in. I mean, they're not a horrible unit. You know? I mean, the great thing about Helps is they totally deny cav, but they can also go toe-to-toe with infantry. You know, get some really good damage against infantry. Got some pikes here though, probably for budgeting reasons to help them. We got some of those Hussars. How's Dutch? So Dutch still has a lot of resources to spend, where it seems like Italy has basically cooked through a lot of their stuff at this point. They're going to be sending an infinite shipment of one Papa Bombard though. You alright there, Jack? Jack is doing Jack at this point. Yeah, Jack is doing Jack at this point. Yeah, it's kind of slowed down. I don't know why. I think it's because he just hasn't figured out how to deal with this mass. He's gonna need some sort of, I believe, like, Falcons here or something. Why doesn't he get, like, some... Where's his foundries? Foundry. Get some, like, horse artillery or something. Like, get some horse artillery and just break up this line at this point. Right now, he's just spamming a bunch of pikers and, Oh, he's running on Dinero as well. That could totally be a factor in that. Yeah. Definitely could be. See if we can get past that, though. Comes the riders down here to do some damage. Ooh, look at the strength of those bombards. As well as these Spingardi culverins. Spingardi. Like Spingoli, Spingardi. Yeah. Basically World Guard culverins. Yeah, well, he has turned the tides really quickly. I think Angel of Death might have pushed in there too quickly without enough artillery and might have just screwed himself pretty badly there. Because now, looks like Dutch is on the back tail. As long as these bombards stay up, I think Aaliyah just plows in here and wins eventually. That's what I think anyways, and if that's sort of the direction I think it's heading at this point, yeah, seems like it. Most definitely. Yeah, start crushing some of those buildings if you're Italy. Start sieging some of that stuff. You got a real opportunity here to cap. Oh no, here comes the Coves. That might change everything at this point. Yeah. I feel like culverins here are going to be a serious problem if you're going to prolong this thing. Because normally, you have to take out President OB. Dutch is doing infinite shipments of Falcons, though. 2 Falcons, so I mean, they're getting some artillery here. Oh, look at this, though. Pressuring the merchants here. That could be pretty big. Oh, it could. It could be pretty serious, actually, yeah. We'll see, though. Taking out the foundry there. Pirates? Pirates? This is desperation. The man's making pirates. When did you ever see this in a professional deathmatch game? Not pirates. Not the scallywags. Ugh. Pirates at that point. So what does Italy do? Because they kind of just got cooked. Now they have to recover a bunch of stuff at this point. Yeah. Like, where are the villagers, man? Where are the villagers? What are the villagers doing? How many villas has he got? How many Guidos has he got? He's got about 37 Guidos on the field and 3 Guidos to come, so 40. That's okay, I guess. What do you do now? Because it looks like Dutch is amassing a bunch of riders now to ride them towards your cannons at this point. Yeah, it could get pretty dicey pretty quick if you're not careful. We'll see, though. We'll see. Couple of dragoons here. Couple of basilicades. This is so awkward to watch because it feels like they've really burned through all their resources to start now. You know, you got the man's literally letting him burn his base because his god doesn't have enough resources to make a big stand out of it, you know? Kind of interesting. You know, how many vills is he on, by the way, on the Dutch side? Only 27 vills? And hasn't even sent these yet. Yeah, you should probably get that too to get a little bit more coin income there. I think in the long run, Dutch might be able to pull this out if they just get those extra banks and they start adding in some more of the merchants. Yeah, they're going to start queuing in more of the merchants now. Yeah, try to target down his, like, bombards there, tap the bomb. He should be able to target down one. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He's using pistoleros? You don't always see every day is pistoleros. Wow, very interesting. Yeah. Targeting a bunch of basilicades too. Yeah, I think they're both trying to just grow their economies a bit and, you know, from the shock of just burn through everything at this point so they can get some real sizable armies here. It's like Dutch are going to make another siege on this side to get some more shipments, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, if you can get those other bank cards, get some of these eco cards, I think you're in pretty good shape if you're Dutch there, yeah. Highwaymen? Could he do buck riders with theaters? Yeah, he could totally do that, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Oh, now Italy has fallen back to Patriciers at this point. Yeah, I mean, Patriciers can be reasonable. Yeah. The thing that makes Patriciers good is their different armor options. You know, they can go into like melee armor, they can go into Pierce armor, they can go into crush armor. They're more of the flexitarian type of skirmisher, really. You know, but other than that, you know, most of the time you're going to want the Basilicare because it's the heavy hitting damage, you know, compared to it, really. Question is, who gets the bigger eco first here? I think takes the cake. Takes the pastel. Con chocolate. We'll see though. We'll see who takes the cake here and gets like the bigger eco first. Yeah, I mean... Okay. What is that? Dragoons on the Italian side? Yeah, Goonies. Hussars will charge right at the Basigliaries as well as the Spingatis. Oh god, Culverins. Mortars, yeah, that'll be good for certainly taking down that wall, because it looks like Aaliyah was trying to basically reestablish some sort of defensive, like stop here. Mortars being a good counteraction to that. Should be able to take up this wall, maybe this. We'll see though, it depends on how well, oh yeah, the Culverins. Does he have enough to deal with the Culves from stopping that? Nah, no, he doesn't. Culverins. Backed up by a Papal too. Papal Bombard. Yep. Skirmishers. Yeah, yep, this is definitely where you want to be hitting from. But you need to make sure you're taking out walls though, cause try to shoot those bills. Yeah, I think the skirmishers can probably take them. No, you got the bombard there though, so he's gonna like retract. Hopefully you can get, yeah, no, the bombard's gonna get a shot out of his mortar. That's pretty bad. Yeah. So now we're going to see a reestablishing of defenses here, and we're going to price, yep, we're going to see another Italy push, probably into this blank spot here. Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see how that turns out. Ooh, getting fish. Yeah, Cesar's got fish there, it looks like. Yeah, we have to see some sort of like bigger force, I think, Dutch to mass up there to try to push on that force of Italians there. This area is basically being ignored as well, which I find pretty interesting. Yeah. Because I would think you would want some like petards and mortars down there to like start trying to make a little bit, but then trying to melt your way in there. Could be wrong. We'll see though. Yeah, when did skirmishers get fished into the Papal Bombards is not a good idea. Italy's starting to get like a more consistent eco, I think, compared to Dutch at this point. At least it seems like it. I mean, I'm not. How many banks has Dutch got at this point? Still hasn't added these 2 banks yet, so that's a problem. You need to get Amsterdam and Rotterdam going. Get those 2 banks, and then I think you'll be able to walk in and secure a better eco. Also, wouldn't hurt to get food silos as well. That's going to be a really big one. Taking out some goons. Probably going to do some sort of siege support here. Oh, Culverins are doing some of the siege. Oh, Petard's on the Italian side though, yeah. Oh, good interception there by the Dutch riders though. He denied a lot of those Petards. Their siege potential there. right. This has got to take out that cabbie. Yep, you gotta aim those culverins. I mean, you got the numbers there. You gotta worry about the Spingatis though, because they got some more stats than yours. A couple of Spingatis could actually ruin your whole line of culverins if you're not careful. Spingati. Now we're starting to see some horse artillery creep up here with the mortars taking a push at this angle. Totally on guard though, because Italy could just take a bunch of hussars or even the papal lancers and go after this. So that's definitely something I would be thinking about in the back of my head. Is Dutch. Yep, making showings of the walls. Exactly, type infantry coming out over here. Good defense there by Italy, like backing up the skirms and the goons going for a micro there with the cannons. That's going to try to max out as much damage as possible you can get. When do we see those two other bangs from the Dutch though? That's the question. That's the question. I think everybody wants to know. Yeah, certainly I want to know. I want to know when those are coming in. Oh, right. Whoa, you don't want that there. Do you have any calls left? No, thankfully not, because I think if his calls right there, that'd be a sick duck. Definitely on that one. Yeah. Big time with that one. Gotta target those dragoons though. Gotta make the most out of those hussars, man. Yeah, there you go. Dig up those dragoons. Then you can start really getting deep into the skirmisher line there. Yeah, there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, Italy's going for Papal Company. Papal Guards and Papal Bombards. This is like a savior card or something by Italy. Looks like it. Looks like it. And he sent out the Papal Arsenal already, right? Yeah, so he's already sent that. He's also got Savoyard Company, too, to get in some royal horses and armored pistoliers. Interesting. Yeah, I guess at this point, the more the merrier with everything. Yeah, Helps are just going to cut their way through the cav. These Swiss guards are really powerful overall. And then, of course, having a big line of Papal Bombards there to save the day is always good. gonna clean up that. This one's hanging on a thread. Yeah, one bullet. Oh, it took out the bombards, but the Swiss guards are still active. He's gonna try his best, I think, to try to take out the Swiss guards and like finally clean out that shipment there. More Pavasiers. Like, where we see Dutch economy at, though? Dutch economy is doing pretty well in the wooden coin sector, so we're probably gonna see a lot more artillery from them. And any food they get, you know, it's gonna go right into like skirms and riders most likely. Food silos been sent out yet? The banks have arrived, that's good. But food silos, that's another one you might want to think about too. Where's the bill count at, by the way, at this stage? 50 vills, you could totally get 10 more vills, I think, and stick them on another mill. For Italy, where's Italy at in terms of eco? Yeah, so they've maxed out, yeah. Like, you could actually get some really good food eco with, like, Dutch, I think, if you get, like, another mill. And you might seal the deal. You might seal the deal against the Dutch if you just... the Italians, I mean, if you just get your eco fully built up. Is doing pirates again to take advantage of the coin surplus. Can't say that's a bad thing. I mean, he should send theaters out, you know, he should send theaters out. So that way you can get these pirates down to, I think, like 2 pop or something, 1 or 2 pop. That'd be really good, because then you can literally, like, spam these out everywhere. You can go yo-ho, a pirate's life for, Angel of Death, basically. So you should definitely get the theater's card as soon as possible. Pirates doing pretty well against these Papal Lancers because they're mostly not trying to fight them at the moment. Yeah, I mean, the pirates seem to be doing okay-ish here. He's gonna have to stop and try to shoot those off, I think. Unless he wants to have them. Oh, they're gonna snipe the bombard, though. That's pretty huge. So, I mean, pirates are doing pretty reasonable here, then. Taking out that. Trying to take out as many goons as possible. Oh, look at this wall, though, by Aaliyah. This is so obnoxious because now he can't pursue anything. Oh, no, he's got a crevasse. The pirates got through. Pirates are getting through. Swashbucklers are getting in there. Scallywags. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting wall here. It's like from that all the way to the Maya settlement. Good way to like mess up Angel of Death's advance. Trying to go after these stray units down here. If you could snipe this site, that'd be good too. You know, so you won't have to deal with the zap attacks anymore down there. Pretty good push there. I think Angel of Death is like gonna be the. I should see him pulling out here because it seems like pulling this off, I should say, because he's getting like more surplus and resources. I think it's gonna allow him to eventually like overwhelm Italy, stop their sort of like big defense that they're doing with this whole walling thing here. Just needs to get some artillery to stay there at this point and try to blast away at the Bersigliere mass when it comes and maybe break through that wall in the north. Yeah, probably. That's probably what I would do here. Skirms, though? He's gotta have... I guess he's gonna do that to try to cut through the Dragoon mass a bit. Still, though, you need a way to get through this bombard and like break the artillery line here, too. Oh, stat block. Halberdiers comfortable enough to start adding helps, and that's another option we can do. Of course, they're gonna get totally obsolete once that wall comes into effect. So I mean, you're gonna have to deal with this wall here if you want to go full health. Take time on that one. Yeah. Mortar's trying to stop the Lee's advance there. That's good. I think the only way Italy beats you is if they get like a really good push on you and they start going after your bills, potentially. Yeah. So as long as you're like pushing them back with like the mortars, making sure they don't get any advances on that now, probably going to be your best way of like securing it away from the Italians at this point. Yeah, that's what I would guarantee at this point, honestly. Most definitely. We'll see though, we'll see. Got a bit of gas there. I guess. I haven't even ate my Cinar yet. No. You have started Vigilmento. What's that? Oh, look at all the red shirts. Onto, Blato, stop and follow. Aliga, aliga. That's a lot of red shirts. Wow, look at them all. Comes all the red shirts. How do you do that? How do you get a bunch of red shirts? Hilarious. Garibaldi had his own revolt in Wars of Liberty when they had revolts. He did ship you red shirts, by the way. But they were a lot stronger than that. They had like some really brutal multipliers back then. Yeah. They were basically like Yuans with guns. You know, they had like really hardcore range attack, really hardcore melee, but their HP was like pathetic. Yeah. Kind of an interesting unit. Now the red shirts are mostly just basically like evil Wonder Knights and Wars of Liberty at this point, but not traditional ones. You know, they get like multipliers, I believe, against dragoons at range instead of like hand cav, and then in melee they have like multipliers against all like cav units. So it's a bit of a strange dragoon. It's more like a counter dragoon in a way. Yeah, very strange indeed. I think this massive red shirt though is going to be a bit of a slight problem here for Angel of Death, but I think the Fausts though should remedy that very quickly. Oh, he's doing the bugle call because that's Siglier. Oh, here comes the armored pistoliers though. That'll cause a problem. That'll cause a problem. And these Valks need to be targeted on. These Hunto, Plato, Stop and Follow. Way on top of these. Yeah, you gotta target those. Falcons right into the armored pistoliers, because if you let those get too deep in you, that's something that could like lose you the front lines and cut into your base. It's those armored pistoliers. Thankfully, though, he is targeting them down, which is probably the most important thing to do here. Also worry about those little horsemen. Thankfully, though, Dutch has infinite shipments of the Falcons, so he can constantly keep trying to get the pressures into them at this point. Mortars, and more is going to be used for that as well. He is making a bit of a push here, though. Oh, and then he's going to start walling it, too. Yeah. It's going to be wall. Oh, yeah. How many pistoliers does he have left? That's kind of an important question. He's got Uno with 1 HP. Come on, man. You can shoot it. You can get it. You can get it. Not too hard. Get him. Get him. Took out the little bomber. Well, it's a little bombard, but it's also a papal bombard. It's a Catholic bombard. Yeah, it's a Catholic bombard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, get the pikemen in there. Deal with the lancers. But how's his Ridge doing? Nah, he's getting cooked. His economy's getting cooked trying to fight back against this. So hilarious. This timing thing by Leah was spot on. 200 IQ spot on at this point. Oh, it was. It definitely was. Oh, yeah. Big time. Now I'm dead. GG. GG well played, you should say. GG very well played, but not enough to beat Aaliyah. So Aaliyah has red-shirted armored pistolier counteroffensives and stuff. Yeah. Pirates. Pirates not doing too well. Those pirates, they saved you. Yeah, they did. RNG's just gave him pirates on this map, so he's totally fine. Went for the pirates, man. He'd have some issues there. Army of pikes here left. Yeah. Yep, and what goes on? Is Leah gonna add anything else to the mix? Yeah, more dragoons and hussars there. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Okay. Thing, alright. Ooh, pistolier spam at the end, I like that. What you need, sure thing, alright. Okay, sure thing, alright. Oh, get him. Yeah. An outlaw you see all the time in Worlds of Liberty, but you never see in the 5th District. Basically because USA and Mexico get their own pistolero versions. That's where most of the Cids actually want to use those outlaws. Weakest units. I mean, yeah. Didn't they have multipliers against Cav in Wars in Legacy? Why did they take away their multiplier against Cav? They should have kept like a multiplier of like 1.5 or 2 against Cav, and they probably would have felt a little bit more sustainable, I guess. Yeah. Because now that it's nothing else helping them, they just crumble. The cookie crumbles. This is like a neck and neck like resource, like economy. Yeah. It was that push at the end though that pushed Leo over the top though. Up until that point though, I think you could say that the I mean, let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, Dutch is always gonna have lower vills. What was the max here? 60. So he did end up maxing out to it. Okay. In terms of military count. Yeah, pretty big graphs here about military unit population. Yeah, it's this point where Leah was starting to turn around. Resource gathered. I mean, there was a big gap here. Yeah, Dutch always had like a resource advantage. It was just a matter of fighting that push from Aaliyah, which he wasn't able to do. If he did that, he would have just fought his way eventually through him at that point and just would have won it. Even if it was like after 2 hours or something, he probably would have done it. Yeah, most likely. So definitely in that case. So now I'm gonna say we will. Let's look for a spectator game. Spectator mode. It's always fun. If we don't see anything, I guess we'll have to end the stream if we can't. I think we'll find something though. We'll see. It's twitching. The menu is having a seizure. Stop it. Stop twitching. Alright, the menu. Oh, okay. Let's watch this one. El Gino, David Punk, Gamer Lauchino, El Gino, and Alex JD. So it's a Sweden and China versus a Sweden and China. Okay. Alright. Sure thing. Alright. Let's get this going. Take out the fog of war. Alright. I don't mind if it goes fast. Now it's twitching. Like, what's up with the twitching of this stuff? Do all the 5 games look like this? Very weird. Alright. Whatever. So, basically we've got China and Sweden, and China and Sweden. Alright. So, you get IKEA furniture and cheap Chinese furniture that will give your kids lead poisoning if they lick the handles of it. Like, yeah, the arm of it. Yeah, if the kid wants to lick the arm of the chair from China, they'll literally get lead poisoning. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it at home, kids. Do not lick that armchair that came from China. It will literally poison you. 100% guaranteed. Or it'll have like some recoil on the plastic and it'll collapse. And you know how it is. Just like with the baby cribs, right? Yeah, I remember that used to be in like the news every day. Or every other day is some plastic baby crib from China or something. The kid, tries to grab his binky on the floor and the thing like gets like a guillotine and like snaps their neck. Like totally morbid stuff, Yeah. Yeah. And they say China isn't at war with America. They literally turn their baby cribs into guillotines to kill off the offspring. Oh yeah, big time. But that's just a theory, a unstoppable Stoltzy theory. Thanks for watching the stream. Nah, that's alright. We'll watch this one, I think, and then we'll call it quits. So, are these like professional people? Like, how skilled are these guys? Do they have skills or do they have skill issues? We'll see. See what they got. They have decks. They have decks. What do they got? Yep, this one, who's Gamer Alcino, so that's the red China. T-Export, this is a really good. He goes with Furrier first, which I think. Okay. Alright. Find that kind of interesting. I would send T-Export first, and then you normally send Northern Refugees second. This is like the normal Chinese build order. It's kind of strange to see him pulling the Furrier first, though, honestly, so I don't know what he's got in mind here. This is a little bit strange, but we're out of the Leah territory now. We're into the territory of the million other Age of Empires 3 players that you probably never heard about on Twitch or anywhere before. So, you know, we can only try to analyze what they're doing exactly. Hopefully maybe it's something we never heard about, you know. It could be a totally different build. Doing the Summer Palace, that's totally saw. He is doing TX port now, so I mean, maybe he's on to something we're not aware of, you know. I mean, I think I almost understand what he was trying to do. I think what he decided was, why would I send 300 food when I could do Furrier to get long-term food economy, and then send TX port second? Because I remember a long time ago, I used to do food crates first and then export, so that's probably what he's doing. Alright. So I think I kind of understand where his build order is coming from at this point. So, I mean, yeah. I'm assuming he's going to go with Russian consulate here if I put my money on it. Yeah, let's see, though. Let's see if he ends up going with the Russian consulate there. We'll see, though. See if he does do that. Yep. This is the one you want. I just picked it for him. This is weird, like, really, this is a cool, weird bug. It shows you the UI and you pick it and it no longer shows in the UI anymore after you do that. That's kind of interesting. For spectator mode. Imagine if I did that and it actually affected the guy's game, like, come on, man! You literally just changed my ally to the one I want. Yeah. So how are these Swedens looking? I want to look at David Punk first because he's on the team of that China. He sent 3 settlers and now he's going for Dominions. Okay, that's a card we see a lot. He does have blueberries, but he doesn't have the Engelberg Ironworks though, and to me that's a little salty. You gotta have that, I think. Get this Brigadier stuff out of there and put in Engelberg Ironworks, like, right now, man. Right now. Yeah, right now. German mercenary contracts, totally fine. Kalmar Castle, okay. K-Shot, that's pretty solid. This could work good. 16 Sheepy. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it myself, but what can you do? Now, this man has the Engelberg Ironworks. Start out with 3 settlers, and, what do you send next? What is this card going to be? Do we know what this man card is yet? No, I don't know. He's got like 2 shipments flowing. This is like red flag. Like, man, this guy's out of his world right now. It's funny how he's named El Chino when he's not playing China, which really means the China. Yeah, and he's not playing China. Yeah, definitely doesn't make any sense to me at all. No. I noticed where the viewers dropped after I went into spectator mode. They're like, oh no, not this trash again. I'm out of here. Yeah. I would be out here too. I don't want to be looking at no spectator mode. At least it's running fine. At least it's running alright. You know, why couldn't it have been like this on Saturday of last week? You know, Saturday of last week the thing turned into a total turtle fest. Now it's like moving at a reasonable pace here. Like, hopefully it's like this on Sunday when I do my, stuff basically. Yeah. Sumptuary laws? Who is that? Some The only deck I haven't seen yet is like the other China. So what's the other China doing? Year of the Goat. At least has Repelling Volley. At least he has that. I mean, he's got some of the good rush shipments here. He's got Flatland Castle, which, this, yeah, you should probably get rid of this and, like, put, like, Geicho Canoe in there, I think. For it to look reasonable to my eyes. Mis ojos at that point. And, go into the Yellow Army from the Summer Palace. Something seems wrong with that. Like, you either want to keep it on blue or you want to change it to red. See, why normally in like a ranked situation, you're going to want to change it to red, because the red army comes out quicker. You know, the Quang Pikemen plus the Chu Canoes, otherwise known as the Old Han Army. That one comes out quicker. So you normally want to switch it to that in like the early age, and then you change it to the green one in the later ages, because that one has the most value, basically, with the Meteor Hammer and the Iron Flame. But yeah, or you could potentially leave it on blue if you want to, as well. Some people do. It does give you access to some Step Riders, you know. Yeah, but if you run into like Handcav or something, it's better to go Old Han, because at least you have the Quangs ready there to face them, basically. Yeah, the only time you probably just want to go blue is if it's you know, skirmisher spam. Yeah, you definitely don't want to go yellow, because it's all anti-cav. It's like total anti-cav. And if they go with literally, especially skirmisher, if they go like crossbow, skirmisher, C-10 bow, Aana bow, Yellow Banner Army set up with the Summer Palace is totally a wash and will not do you any good at all. So yeah, you don't do that, I suppose, unless somebody's like going hardcore cav or something. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to do that myself. Definitely not. Yeah. Ooh, look at this rush here with the Irish Brigadiers. The man is building mills in age 2? And he's fighting with villagers? Look at this. This is what lies beyond the yellow brick road, my friend. Leave House of the Trading Post and ESOC TV behind. This is where the true Age of Empires 3 meta lies, right here. Then he sends in like an army, a bunch of random poop. He might lose that whole army, you know, because it's filled with all like Kejiks. Oh, he's got some Chukonus left, never mind. Yeah. I mean, the Brigadiers got way too much value than they should have there. And then he just leaves that one left. Like, yes, yeah, I'm just going to let him hurt you some more. Because I don't know, why not? Yeah, like this red... I think there's like an ELO... ELO difference between these guys here. Because both of these are in age 3 and they're still in like age 2 making mills like it's Farmville. Something is not right with that picture. Definitely not. Nope, definitely not. Absolutely not. I like the wall up he's doing though. That's definitely very good. Yeah. I wonder what would happen if we tried to fast forward this a little bit more and try to get past a lot of this stuff. Does it go any faster here? I don't think it'll let us go any faster here. Yeah, I'm just curious because I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to turtle out for like 30 minutes and yeah, I don't know. Getting the Temple of Heaven in aid this early is pretty rare, I think. How about on the other side? He's going with... What is this trying to go with, Alex? Oh, Confucian Academy. So yeah, he's playing it more the standard way. He's going Summer Palace followed by Confucian Academy. That's what I would do 90% of the time. Sometimes you'll go for Porcelain Tower, but usually I think Confucian Academy is the way to go because of course the Flying Crows are great. Yeah, very interesting indeed. These casual games get really long, it looks like. Yeah. A lot of pacifism. Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like that when I'm like playing because then I can set up like a late game setup and then just dominate them once I'm ready. Yeah, like if somebody leaves me alone for this long, for the most, I know he didn't leave him long because he did the thing with the Irish Brigadiers, but in general, if you leave me alone for this long, in like this sort of way, and just send like a little wave in, I'll have such a huge economy over you, and it won't even be funny, you know, be hitting you from all sides. This is definitely not the type of move you normally want to do in like, especially like a 2v2, you know, because you're just giving them that much power over you to just go for a huge push of some kind to just roll you over at that point. Big time at that point, yeah. Doing some of the territorial armies with the Changdao and the Arquebusier. Arquebusier. I don't call them Arquebusiers, I call them Arquebusier. So it sounds European. Arquebusier? How long did they play this match? It's already at like minute 21. Very interesting. Yep. Very interesting. Yeah, he's just gonna ball up big armies of stuff. That's normally what you want to do with China. Like, get a death ball with like 210, 20 plus units, and it's just that's where China's at its peak, really, usually. Yeah. Does the other China have repelling volley as well? No, he does not. He has like no upgrades, and that. I mean, he's playing the build order better, but he just doesn't have any upgrades, especially repelling volley. That's like one of the most important ones. And then, of course, the one I showed you in H4 before that, you know, basically makes your banner armies more expensive. Basically, that's another one you want because you. Getting these units up by like 50% is just so good. It's like half their stats basically in an upgrade, and it's really big. It's really just like an extra Imperial upgrade, which you really could use in these skirmishes for the most part. Yeah. Some hand mortars. These would be great siege. Look at Red China going up with all the natives though. Picking up the Mapuche, picking up the Quichua, pick up another Mapuche. Hey, if they let him grab all these natives, that's gonna be another problem too. Looks like he is coming in with a bit of an attack though. Again, the discipline upgrade on his Chukunu. No veteran upgrade on his Step Riders yet. A couple of Changdaos. It almost feels like a bunch of sandbox AIs like fighting each other almost. It's kind of disturbing. Because this is what the AI does. It just comes in with like a big army of random like blobs of poop like this and just sends it forward. And here's some natives too. So he's got a couple of natives. I mean, adding in some of the Wamikas and potentially some of the Ironwood Clubmen, that could be pretty fatal here, I think. Most definitely. was just thinking, can't wait till somebody's willing to do Age of the World again with me so we could try out that Total War style of gameplay on this survival map. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea to do whenever somebody's willing to do some more AOTW, as they call it, with me. For that. Yep, we finally see a bit of a fight here. Pikemen, crossbowmen, and carolians without upgrades. I mean, the man didn't even get veteran upgrades on his team, so that's... should go in Sweden's favor, I guess. Well, the Huamakas might, you know, they might push it for him, yeah. Huamakas are just brutal units, yeah, they got pretty insane rate of attack there. It just cuts through a lot of stuff, really. The Chengdaos have the same, so they have the same rate of attack as the Huamakas. Very interesting, yeah. Pikes do. Oh, so they all have the same rate of attack. That's very interesting. And now he's going to get intercepted by the big Chinese army here. The Qing Dynasty in their yellow uniforms. Yeah, I mean at that point it's basically getting cooked. So who wins though? Like now our good friend Red China there is pretty... He's going industrial though, so he's low for a reason. So who's that? That's China. David Punk is up to industrial already. What are we gonna see like late game wise for David Punk here? Cause he's upgrading a lot of stuff. Now he's getting the Finn horses to improve the HP of the Hakkapelites and the Hussars. Alright. Poor El Chino though, like totally behind. Poor Juanito Bonito. I get taught by some of the Juanitos Bonitas how to set up a eco, probably. Yeah, at the very least. It's weird to imagine that the man is still in H2 after a half hour of the game. Unreal. Yeah, this is kind of sort of the weird, peculiar stuff you find when you go into spectator mode live. Just weird oddities like this, you know, because you're used to like the more intense competitive gameplay, and then when you look at the rest of what's in the AoE 3 game community, is this type of stuff you find, you know, very low score players. They'll take like an hour to get to age 3 because they're literally making meals. You know, things we would never do, right? We would never, unless you're doing a vegan challenge, just like we used to do in Moore's Liberty. We used to have vegan challenges, farmer vegan challenges, where we just do nothing but meal economy. Yeah. So we're almost at about the halfway point of the match. Yeah. So what is Swing gonna do over there? I'm kind of curious now. Okay, going with a bit of a push here. Is he at least upgraded his... the man still has unupgraded Kejiks, his Quangs are unupgraded, his Step Riders are... Does this man know what an upgrade is? Does he know what an upgrade is? I don't think he knows what an upgrade is. Nothing's upgraded. It's just a big ball of poop. Yeah, he's doing some damage. He's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking. Yeah. Watch out for the fourth though. Doing veteran hussars. Could be guard hussars. Is he gonna get like the guard upgrade out of the stable? Yeah, you should probably just get guard at that point. Have like some more stats. I mean, you should have an easy time if he like ships out these two Falcons and Cove with the guard hussar upgrade. It should actually be like a really easy pastel. The chocolate walk for him, I'd imagine. Yeah, I mean, that's a total sweep. Ah, well, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not bad. He took out a bunch of veteran hussars. Okay. Flying Crow is going to go flying now because he didn't protect it. Why I call it a Flying Crow. Well, all crows fly. Yeah, all crows fly unless they have like a defect in their bone structure or something, their wings. Why do they call it the Flying Crow in China? Why is it called the Flying Crow? Don't all crows know how to fly? Is that not their purpose? They're little burbs. Of course they fly. Well, if they called it the Walking Crow, then I would be a little bit, you know, it'd sound more unique. Like, oh, it's the Walking Crow, or the Swimming Crow, or the Napping Crow. Yeah, it's the Napping Crow. The crow that naps. Now, Napping Crow is probably a good crow because crows make some pretty nasty loud noises. Probably your residences during the day, you know, going "Arr! Arr!" And they basically steal all the food from the smaller animals and sometimes eat the smaller animals too. So, yeah, definitely. The only good crow is a sleeping crow. Definitely don't want a flying crow. Gonna keep up with the... Yep, he got up the guard. At least he did that. He's got his sets of two cannons here. He could just like cakewalk over this blue Swede at any time. Why is this man still alive? Like, are they simping for this? Is this a gamer girl here? Are they simping for? Why are they not going stomping on him? It should be. Well, it'd be La China. It wouldn't be El Chino. It'd be La China. La China. Yeah, if it was a Juanita. Yeah. Simping over a Juanita Bonita and not attacking them. Getting cave shot for the artillery. Considering the way he's playing right now, I mean, that's probably going to be a good card. Alright. Any good stories for me? While we wait for somebody to do something significant. I mean, that fight over there was significant, but I don't know when they're gonna fight again now. Yeah. These games are like super long. Imagine playing this on like normal speed and like casting it like a normal speed. You'd be sitting there for like an hour waiting for people to just slowly move their armies around. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's something we call low ELO legends in Age of Empires 2, right? Yeah, the low ELO legends. Yeah. So this is like low ELO legends type stuff. Yeah. But don't they have to do pretty wacky, bonkers stuff in Low ELO Legends to get that title? Yeah. Yeah, like I know in AoE 2 they do like all these weird things with like their towers and walls and stuff that makes them really distinctively, uniquely Low ELO Legend, basically. So yeah, definitely. I mean, if you did like one of these as like an individual video would probably be fine, but yeah. Kind of hungry right now. I kind of want to heat something up after this. Yeah. Get chicken parmesan in the tray thing and heat it up. Yeah, probably. Sounds like a plan. Yep. Getting all the arsenal upgrades, that's good. Pulling the advanced RC ones, that's also good. David Punk is going to try out to be a real punk with that attack. A real punk with that attack. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, there's Hussars. With like 2 cannons. Hussar spam. Well, Hussar spam can sometimes do pretty well. I mean, Did the man even upgrade his Kezik's? Nope. Chang Huang's is still on upgrades. I mean, at this point, he may as well just go in with a bunch of hussars and just trample this kid here into oblivion, I guess. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose that is the mode of attack I would do. We'll see. I think he's gonna knock out the blue Sweden as soon as he gets into the base and make him resign. I guarantee you that. Put my money on that he will. Absolutely on that one. And then they're probably going to take a few extra moments to get rid of the yellow China, because at least the yellow China is like making masses of something, even if they're unupgraded. Yeah, he is getting a pretty good death blow with the Flying Crows, though, I will admit that. And he can kind of negate the fact that he's not getting upgrades by just making lots of Chang Daos and Arquebusiers from the Territorial Army, which he's doing. So, I mean, he might not know what upgrades are, but at least he knows sort of like the H3 equivalent to go with instead to make up for that. So, not in a total wash of the situation right now. Look at this Hussar spam. And he just got the 2 Falconets as well. He's gonna like lose those now. Oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. He's gonna lose his whole base now. Playing Farmville in his mills, making vegan Swedish meatballs or whatever he was doing there. Gotta make Swedish meatballs with actual meat, not Swedish meatballs with vegan stuff. It's not Swedish meatballs. It's just a bunch of pumping up leaves and grass. Gravy on it. It's also made out of leaves and grass. Basically, yeah. I can't stand like people that say they can live on vegan alternative foods. Like that stuff is like nasty. I've had like those. I think I like one time tried a vegetable burger once at like one of those hippie events where they have all the organic food or whatever. I'll never have one ever again because I thought at first it was like a real patty, and then I was like, oh, this is horrible. Texture's bad. It's not satisfying. It's like, what do these people tell themselves when they eat that stuff? I get there's some people that can't eat it for different dietary reasons, and got bitten by a tick because it's apparently this weird allergy to certain types of meat you get if you get bitten by a tick, similar to Lyme disease, I suppose. So I guess for them, maybe that's the only sort of thing they get. But even that, I'd rather just eat like a cheese sandwich or something than that, because cheese, anything that comes out of an animal's udder or out of an animal's body is just always going to taste better than whatever weird green leaf stuff you get off the ground at that point. That's at least my opinion, You might have your own personal taste and palate with your cuisine, depending on where you're from, but that's just the way me as a gringo, the way I think. Probably a lot of the Juanitos would probably have a similar palate as well, I would imagine. Or a lot of places, A lot of places, they eat a lot of chicken and pork and fish and stuff. Obviously, places like India, where they're eating, a lot of people are pretty vegetarian and stuff, yeah, they'll probably have a different view of that. But yeah, basically. Yeah. So I always cringe whenever I see like those big giant things at like the supermarkets. So when I used to go to supermarkets where you basically have it's called Beyond Meat. It's totally plant-based, and then like, first of all, plant-based is not based. It's like, so stop calling it plant-based because it's not based. It's plant beta because you're a beta male if you eat it. But yeah, basically. No, I mean, if you like that stuff, it's fine. But I just don't like the taste of that type of stuff. So I really wouldn't recommend cooking it and eating it if you're looking for something palatable for your tongue or whatever. That's just me based on my dietary experience. I have some pretty negative experiences with all that plant alternative stuff. Taste and palate standpoint. Big time. Yeah, see, even sometimes you just need to spam Hussar to win. Yeah. a totally Woloseum. This is like a Woloseum moment, like some guy trying to make pikemen or whatever, and you just win with a big massive like guard hussars. This feels totally like Colosseum, basically. The man knows how to abuse hussars really well. And I guarantee you he's going to get like another death ball of that, and then he's going to make him resign with it. And for some reason, China over here knows what upgrades are, isn't even helping for some odd reason. I totally don't understand. Yeah, I mean, at this point, whatever level this David Punk guy is at, he's probably, you know... Oh, he's already Imperial Age, so why isn't he getting, like, Imperial Hussar now? You could totally get, like, Imperial Hussar here and just win it to win it. That's what I would do. I'd just get, like, Imperial Hussar in here and just take the win at this point. Take the W. What are you waiting for, man? Get that Imperial Hussar upgrade going and just finish the job. Big time. Yeah. I notice a lot of these Definitive Edition streams don't get a lot of viewership compared to Wars of Liberty. I don't know what that is, you know. I don't know why people don't like watching DE streams that much, you know. It makes me almost think that thank the Lord that Wars of Liberty is still on Legacy at that point, because if it's this dry and uneventful in the viewership of the DE stuff, then imagine what would happen to Wars of Liberty if it went over to DE. It'd probably tank at that point. At least it seems like it. You know. But I could be wrong, because I do notice Age of the World gets like a lot of viewership. You know, yeah. But even that's gone down a little bit. I think Age of Pirates gets a lot of viewership though, from what I understand. Yeah, because it's pretty easy to get like 1,000 views doing Age of Pirates compared to like other mods. You can sometimes get that with Age of the World, but it seems mostly Age of Pirates gets it. I used to be able to combine the Age of the World Cids with Age of Pirates and get some really cool stuff out of that, but I don't know. Age of the World updated stuff, and it's never the same after that, you know. Yeah. I suppose if we went back to the previous version of Age of the World, we probably could potentially keep doing Age of the Pirates on there, but again, you're not going to be able to enjoy those maps with like Armenia and Georgia and the Colossa then. So, what do you do? What do you do, Vladi? What do you do, Vladi? Yeah. Yeah, somebody should totally, who's got like free time, should totally start working and coding into Age of the World to make it compatible with Age of Pirates once again, you know. Because those mods are really meant to be together, I think, and it almost creates that Wars of Liberty-like experience for people in DE. Of having like the really cool Wars of Liberty style maps with the cool new civs from Age of the World basically together. Doing them individually is fine, but yeah. Because, you know, doing some of those native civs on some of those Age of Pirate maps just feels really nice. As well as some of those medieval style civs, really. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yep, Imperial Hussars, right? Yeah, Imperial Hussars and Guard Kalininos. I don't think I even said that one right. We'll see. I think the Imperial Hussars takes the... totally ignoring each other. Very passive. He's gonna try to take down his Great Wall of China over there. His artillery gets... Is he gonna like ambush his Nah, he just lets... See, he shoots him in the back because he's a coward. He shot him in the back with a cannon. Get that coward, man. Stop, man. Fight like a man. You don't shoot a man in the back with a cannonball. So it's like somebody that eats plain alternative burgers, basically. Yeah, basically, pretty much. That's what they would do. Lots of slashy there. Oh, big time. And then just go for like an attack up here. Is that right? Yep. Yeah, I think you should be able to win this one. We'll see. We'll see if he can pull this one off. And why is ally China not stepping in either? That's a little alarming. So he's got like the army to help out, but is he got like imperial upgrade stuff? So he's honored, guard. So everything's guard at this point. So he should really be stepping in to help. Unless he's watching my stream or something, then that's totally okay. But yeah. What is he? This Hussar has schizophrenia. He's not even like. He's got schizophrenia. He's just swinging up. But look at the. What is he fighting? He's fighting himself. Look at that. Oh, jeez. This Hussar is literally doing magic mushrooms. Wow, look at that. He's on the stuff. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Stop it. There's nothing there. You're okay. You're safe. You're alright. You're safe. You don't have to swing your cavalry saber anymore. You're fine. You're safe. Just get into the van and you'll be alright. Yeah. He's still swinging. He needs to take his meds. He needs help. Get that Hussar some help. He's off of his meds and he's attacking Chinese villages that aren't there. The Hussar took his meds and stopped doing it. Incredible. Yeah. Or they stuck him in the wagon and got him some treatment, quote unquote. It's good too. Yeah. Big time. Tell me about that point, yeah. Alright, so yeah, it looks like they're just cleaning up house here at this point. Yeah, after this, I'm probably going to just heat up some chicken parm and maybe do a Plants vs. Heroes deck. Yeah, I got enough time in the night to do that. Yep. Because I guess sort of the good thing if you do like a smaller stream is you actually get to record other stuff, which is cool. Yeah, definitely. Alright, he's gonna get the... Oh, he's getting Draban, so he's gonna start adding Hakapalites too. Ah, not bad. They do have some splash, so that'll probably help out quite a bit. Why are these guys still in the game? They should be resigned at this. Oh, his rice people are still in the back making pork fried rice. That's right. Oh, big time, yeah.
Is Majestät?
Yep, it looks like the end is near. Yeah. Playing Farmville. Oh, here comes the army of death here, the bringers of destruction. Imperial Drabans, Imperial Hussars, and the Imperial Kalinians. Just roll my tongue randomly with that word. Now they're magically gonna resign. Yeah. I don't know why the guy even left his base. He could have just ran his Hussars up there and found that before. That probably would have been a lot quicker that way, yeah. A lot quicker. A lot more rapido that way. GG, victory is yours. After 1 hour, 1 hour of victory. You know, look at this sad face here with only 20k resources. Oh lord. Yeah, definitely don't want to be that. 31 kills, 529. 15 crossbowmen, but that veteran crossbowman. Oh, he figured out how to upgrade. That's good. Very good. It's very hard to figure out how to upgrade crossbowmen usually. Yeah. I often take long strides at night figuring out how to do that. Usually, yeah. There's definitely on that one. Alright, well, I think it's safe to say the stream is now officially ended. Too bad we didn't have any more recordings, otherwise I would have probably kept it going a bit longer until like 10 or maybe midnight or whatever, but yeah, I think that's enough for now. Once you start having to go into spectator mode to get content at that point, it's time to just hang up the cape at that point. Yeah, well, at least for prolonged streams, then, yeah, so, see you on Thursday, right? We'll be doing Wars of Liberty cast of games, and, we got a good number of those trickling in, so just keep adding some more, and we should have a good stream life, okay? See you there.